I've listened to Endless Summer Vacation since it was released on March 10th of 2023.
And I listened to it a lot of times, actually, not just once yesterday.
Welcome to the final episode of the Year of Healing. And spin it.
Lovely.
It's summertime here on the Spin It podcast.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's another Connor takeover.
It's another endlessly summer day
I suppose so.
as we vacation our way out of the Year of Healing into whatever the future has in store next.
Well, I've got some ideas, but we'll probably talk about it at the end of the episode. Introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are and what you've done.
Hi! I'm getting there. Calm down.
Well, okay. It's usually the first thing I say.
I've done enough of these takeovers. I know how to do them now. Don't backseat podcast.
Sorry.
Hello, I am today's host, Connor, and with me is today's co-host, James.
Hello, people.
Usually the other way around. If you're new to this isn't usually how this goes. But we're back with, as James already alluded to, a Connor takeover.
That's right.
We get one of these every so many episodes, and this is 2 years in a row I've gotten to take us out of the year.
No, it's not.
Is it not? Was there a year in between? I know I did this one other time.
You did this in the first year to lead us kind of into the Year of Vengeance. And then last year we did Kid Cudi as one last jab in the Year of Vengeance and Phoebe Bridgers to start off the Year of Healing.
That's right.
But this time you've done something particularly interesting.
Sure have. Well, you broke the seal.
Well, okay, this is our first voluntary revisit of an artist that we've already done an episode on.
Mm-hmm.
We had to do a second Taylor Swift episode because we swore we would do an episode for the Album of the Year winner for every Grammy year that we podcasted through. And it just so happened that Taylor Swift won, very soon after we did our first Taylor Swift episode.
Yep.
So we stuck to the sanctity of that and have done 2 Taylor Swift episodes. But this is the first time we've kind of gone back to someone. And it's been 136 episodes now. We talked about Miley on episode 20.
Yeah, it's been so long. This is my first ever pick.
Miley was your first ever pick. Tell me more about why we're back. Why you wanted to do Miley again at the end of the Year of Healing.
Well, I alluded to it at the end of last week's episode. I thought I'd give you one last chance to heal the wound that was first opened when you completely crushed my heart during the Plastic Hearts episode.
I crushed your plastic heart.
Yeah.
That was kind of the first dagger. That's what led to the Year of Vengeance, right? Was me...
Yeah, that's the first crack that created the fissure that was the Year of Vengeance.
Yeah, I didn't like Plastic Hearts, and I picked a couple albums that you didn't vibe with as much. And so you were like, I need to get revenge on you. And then we've been healing.
I think regardless of how this goes, we'll be healed. But, this is your chance to heal us and not leave a scar.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I re-listened to our first Miley episode.
I did too.
I've listened to it a couple times over the years, but especially in preparation for this one, I went back and I just wanted to reevaluate exactly how harsh I was on it.
Very harsh.
And with 2 years of hindsight, I was a little bit mean. I stand by most of what I said, but I think some of it was a little too adamant.
My first ever pick, and you tore it apart.
Some of it was a little too adamant. I did also before this, I listened to Endless Summer Vacation, but I also re-listened to Plastic Hearts. And I have some comparative notes that we could talk about at the end.
Interesting.
Yeah. And, I guess I should also just preface, normally the gimmick is that one of us listens to the album a lot, the other person listens to it once.
This is one we've both listened to a lot.
It is, and that's because this one was up for the Album of the Year Grammy, and I wanted to be prepared in case that Taylor Swift Midnights episode turned into a Miley Cyrus Endless Summer Vacation episode. So I did visit this one at the beginning of the year, right around Grammy season, and put it through a proper Albums of the Month run.
And that's part of the other reason I picked it, because as anybody who paid attention to our Grammy predictions would know, this is who I felt deserved Album of the Year.
Yeah, actually, we both picked this as our front runner for Album of the Year.
Yeah.
Which is honestly a surprise. I remember surprising you a lot with that reveal.
Yeah, I really didn't think you were going to do that, yeah. And it gave me hope for this episode that may make the fall all that much harder.
Yeah, well, only time will tell.
So yeah, that's kind of why we're here again.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think we've healed a lot over the year of healing. I found a bunch of fun year of healing stats that I'll talk about at the end too, that we can quantify how much we've healed.
That's exciting. Is it kind of like a year in review at the end? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and see if we really are as healed as we think.
Have a year in review. When are we going to do our first Spin It clip show?
Clip show. I feel like clip shows are generally the worst episodes of things that do clip shows.
Oh, absolutely. It's the thing you do in like the final season when you've already been canceled and you're running out of material and you're just trying to stretch your episode count. You do a clip show.
So then not for a while.
Yeah. But we could do one like ironically.
The Spin It ironic clip show.
So yeah, so as I was just saying, don't have as much to talk about in this beginning section. If you want to learn all about who Miley Cyrus is, go listen to the first episode 20.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mainly just give you an update to what the Queen has been up to.
Well, you call Dua Lipa the Queen. We can't have two queens.
She's also the Queen.
I guess we could.
No, they're both queens.
True. Also, just a preface, remember, episode 20 was 136 episodes ago.
It really was.
We've developed a lot since then.
We really have.
It's like a different style and flow and feel, even, to listen to the older episodes, but they're still fun.
In some ways, we've come a long way, and in other ways, we've regressed.
We've come no way at all.
So yeah, let's get into what my girl's been up to since Plastic Hearts.
Yeah. Thankfully, it's been a little more than 22 weeks like we had with Taylor Swift. That was wild time.
So, Plastic Hearts came out back in 2020. Kind of late 2020, right? So we're going to pick up with Miley in 2021 and just kind of talk about what she's done the last couple of years. In February 2021, Miley Cyrus actually performed at the first TikTok tailgate show in Tampa.
Oh, cool.
Which was interesting. That served as like a pre-show before the Super Bowl and was aired on TikTok and CBS exclusively.
What a wild pair. I really like that you found all these recent facts about Miley. Places the Mixtaper may or may not have been looking for facts that you hadn't known at the first episode. That's great.
Sure. Was that something the Mixtaper had?
Well, I just think...
Because the Mixtaper usually checks Wikipedia, which is where I pulled all my information.
The Mixtaper did not. So I've heard.
Seems like the Mixtaper's slipping up.
No, I think it's good, though. Me, as James, I think it's really good because we are going to need some points today as the host team.
We do need some points.
We're trying to end the year of healing 50-50 on Factor Spin, and we've got some ground to cover. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get to that. There's been a math error.
Just a bit.
So yeah, that happened. The other wild thing that maybe happened, that you might not have heard of.
Maybe happened.
Well, it did happen, but maybe you have not heard of it.
Right, okay.
In March of 2021, Miley Cyrus actually departed RCA and signed with Columbia Records, so she switched labels.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's always fun. I think that can lead to a lot of changes in musical sound and style sometimes. Usually it leads to a lot more creative freedom, but Miley Cyrus has had a lot of creative freedom in the past, so...
Another wild fact that I found was that she partnered with Kid Laroi, who I believe we also did a song of in one of our singles episodes.
We did. I think that was the second singles episode, 45?
And it was like Kid Laroi with somebody else. I don't remember who.
Justin Bieber, maybe?
Was it?
I think so.
I think that might be right.
I hear that song all the time now, by the way. We talked about it, and I had never heard of it when we talked about it. It's still everywhere years later.
She also signed like this deal with NBC Universal as like a TV show gig to like do so many specials for NBC. So far, she put out her first of 3 specials, Stand By You, which was a concert special in May of 2021 that was released on Peacock. She also did a cover of Metallica's Nothing Else Matters, which is an awesome cover, by the way, if you haven't heard that.
I haven't.
Her cover of it was included in the Metallica Blacklist, a tribute album to the band's homonymous record, which featured renditions recorded by various artists and released in conjunction to the original album's 30th anniversary. Other people that were on that track include people we've done, Elton John, Red Hot Chili Peppers' Chad Smith, and Yo-Yo Ma, which we haven't done, but
we haven't.
I thought that one was notable. In 2022, she released her 3rd live album, Attention Miley Live, which was recorded during her concert as part of the Super Bowl Music Fest in Los Angeles on February 12th, 2022. In August of 2022, it was announced that Cyrus would star in a Christmas television film, Dolly Parton's Mountain Magic Christmas, produced by Dolly Parton for NBC. So that's under her NBC deal as well. So that's cool.
That is cool. Gotta love Dolly.
And then in 2023, that's when the endless summer began, 2023.
Wow. And it has not been an endless summer since then. There's been way too much ice and snow over the course of those years.
Summer's a state of mind.
Well, I have been in an endless summer state of mind. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, January 13th of 2023 is when the song that took over the radio stations came out, Flowers.
Flowers.
It debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and Global 200.
That's pretty remarkable.
It's been 13 weeks atop the charts.
Man, that blows my mind.
The song became the longest running and the third longest running leader on the charts at the time, respectively.
I don't want to show my hand too much. That just surprises me. Flowers is not my favorite song.
Oh my gosh. This isn't going to go well. There's going to be a scar.
No, it's not. I'm just saying. I don't know.
If I'm reading that note right, it means it was the longest running on the Billboard Hot 100 and the third longest running leader on the Global 200.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. And it was everywhere. It's true.
It was everywhere.
As much distaste as I maybe have for it personally, I can't deny that it was the song of the summer. Shoot, it won that Grammy, right? Record of the year.
Mm-hmm. It was the most streamed and most downloaded song across various platforms in numerous countries, and the most consumed song on U.S. radio.
Yep.
On Spotify, the single became the fastest track to surpass 100 million and 1 billion plays. 100 million in 7 days and 1 billion in 112 days.
It's almost at 2 billion now.
Yeah. It's been 48 weeks at the top spot of the Billboard Adult Contemporary chart, which was a record. And that song alone ranked as the second best performing song of the year by the Billboard Year-End Hot 100. And the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry said it was the best-selling song of 2023 globally.
So she's rich enough to buy her own flowers.
So you're wrong, is I guess what I have to say about that. And that was just that song. Endless Summer Vacation, the album itself, was her 8th studio album, and it was, like I said, released on March 10th of 2023. And it also blew up. Apparently not enough to win Album of the Year like it rightfully deserved, but enough to get nominated at least. It debuted at number 32 on the US Hot 100 and reached number 2 on the Hot Dance/Electronic Songs chart. And it debuted at number 3 on the US Billboard 200. She also released a documentary concert special titled Endless Summer Vacation on Disney Plus after the album came out. It accompanied the album's release. So that was cool.
Haven't seen that.
I did watch that. It was kind of cool.
Kind of cool?
If you're a Miley fan, you'll enjoy it.
Okay. Would I enjoy it?
Probably as a music lover.
Okay.
They're not really my thing.
No, mister, I don't like concerts because it doesn't sound like it does on a recording.
Yeah, it features her performing songs from the album. But the really cool thing, though, it featured her 2009 single, The Climb, which was cool to see her do again.
I can almost see it.
I see what you've done there.
Just to hear you describe it, I can almost see it.
And then, what would you say if you had to name the most, I don't want to say iconic, but maybe iconic Miley Cyrus song? What comes to your mind if you started naming a few? I'm sure it'd be in your top 3.
Different schools of thought on this. Top 3 iconic or not iconic, whatever you want to say, Miley Cyrus songs. Best of Both Worlds. And The Climb.
Okay, yeah.
You already talked about The Climb. The other one that's iconic, but I don't think she really likes, is Party in the USA.
Ooh, okay. You didn't nail it in your top 3. You went with old school Miley.
Well, just that's the Miley that I grew up with and knew, was Hannah Montana.
Yeah. I guess I was thinking, that's what the reason I was saying iconic, but not really iconic. I don't think that's the word I was looking for.
We Can't Stop.
I was talking about Wrecking Ball.
Wrecking Ball. Infamous.
Infamous is probably the better word I was looking for. Yes, infamous. Well, on October 20th of 2023, Dolly Parton released a rock version of Wrecking Ball that featured Miley as a guest vocalist.
That's right. On her Rockstar album. Epic.
Yeah.
I can't even believe it. It's a super cool move. Dolly's awesome.
It was. And then, of course, at the 66th Annual Grammy Awards, Cyrus received 6 nominations, including Album of the Year, Best Pop Vocal Album for Endless Summer Vacation, and 1 Record of the Year and Best Pop Solo Performance for Flowers, her first set of wins.
Yeah, her first Grammys ever.
Yep.
We talked about that on the Grammy special, and we kind of ran up to it in our Grammy predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty big years for her.
She's worked recently in 2020. She featured on the duet Two Most Wanted with Beyonce. which was cool. She was featured on a song called Doctor, Work It Out by Pharrell Williams.
Didn't that just come out, like, very recently?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like very recently, like April 26th recently of this year.
Yeah, well, I feel like she just had another release today.
Not today, but
Oh, a week ago.
a week ago on May 17th.
Her cover of Psycho Killer, right? By the Talking Heads, is that what she did?
Yeah, May 17th. So yeah, that just came out. I was going to bring that up later too.
Sorry, I jumped ahead because I thought that was this. I'm paying attention. I know what's up with Miley Cyrus.
You are paying attention. It's great. Yeah, so that brings us literally up to a week ago. What's been going on with Miley?
This past week, she's probably been hanging out.
This past week, she's agreed to come on to the Spin It podcast. Here she is. Now, could you imagine?
If you flippin' did that, it would blow my mind.
Here to play Factor Spin against the Mixtaper, we've got Miley Cyrus.
Oh, no.
That'd be nuts.
Yeah, if you thought he did bad against Connor, wait till you see how bad he does against Miley Cyrus. Yeah, I would flip if she just showed up on this podcast. It'd be another situation where I just have to tell her never to listen to the Plastic Hearts episode, and then she might have to leave halfway through this one. I don't know.
Honestly, if I pulled that big of a move on you, you'd probably be mad at me for not warning you.
Yeah, I would. I would really, yeah. But it'd be the most incredible end of the year of healing ever. So you ready for Factor Spin?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, well, let's debrief. You and me, before we bring the Mixtaper in here.
Yeah. Listen, somebody forgot to pay the squirrels.
I think he rigged it so that the math was off.
You think he rigged it?
Well, a couple weeks ago, I mean, we noticed that he was way behind, we thought.
Yeah.
And so he's been winning, and I've kind of been taking it easy on him to let him catch up.
Oh, yeah?
Well, sometimes.
That's what we're saying?
Well, other times he just straight up wins, but definitely the losses have been a little softer blows because I know that he really wants those points.
Sure.
And as it turns out, well, for the year of healing, right now, you and I, the hosts, we have 92, and the Mixtaper has 106. He's massively in the lead.
Oh, gosh, what a dastard.
Yeah.
Paid off the math department.
What's that add up to? He's 14 points ahead. We need 14 to catch up to him.
I don't think that's possible. I think we've lost the year of healing.
I don't know. I think we might have. But I'm just telling you what the stakes are as you go into it, so you're prepared.
Sounds like the pressure's off because I can't, lose it for us. You've already done that.
Yeah, well, hey. Hey, now.
Sorry.
Well, I'm going to wish you luck, and I will see you on the other side.
On the other side.
Hey, it's me, the Mixtaper, back to end the year of healing.
You dastard.
What? What are you talking about?
We've discovered what you've done.
Well, I definitely didn't pay off the math department to do the math wrong, and
how much did you pay them in nuts?
They work pretty cheap. I didn't even have to go to cashew level. I upped the peanuts to pistachios, and that was all it took.
That was enough.
So, right now I'm up by a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm not, I'm evil, but I'm not ruthlessly evil, and I think I've built in some opportunities for you to make up some ground here. Are you prepared?
I don't know that I am.
I don't know that you are either. Well, I wanted to start off by talking about all the things that we talked about last time we did a Miley Cyrus episode.
Okay.
But my memory's a little fuzzy.
Yeah?
I might be forgetting some things.
I don't understand how your what?
I'm kind of experiencing a little bit of what I'm calling Ayy-ja Vu. When I was worried about trying to remember all the things that we talked about in the first round of Miley Cyrus Factor Spin, I figured we got a Miley Cyrus expert right here. I don't need to remember. So I'm going to tell you something we talked about in the last episode. And if it's wrong somehow, you'll have to correct me and make sure I get things right.
I don't understand what this means. What?
Yeah, well, this means we're going to talk about all the things we talked about in the first episode, and you're just going to have to jog my memory, refresh my memory, because you're a Miley Cyrus expert, is what I learned last time we played.
What does that mean? Give me an example.
Like last time, I came out and we played Factor Spin, and the first thing that I told you was that one of her first jobs was collecting women's panties for her dad, right? At her dad's shows, Billy Ray Cyrus, famous achy breaky country musician, women would throw their underwear at him on the stage, and he paid Miley $15 to clean up all the panties.
Okay.
You remember that? Or am I misremembering it somehow? Something tells me I might have 0 to 3 things wrong in what I've just said.
Okay.
And you're going to have to tell me.
That's what I was just about to ask. Is how detailed are we about to go with how wrong
Oh.
you've made things.
You can't trust the memory of a dastard.
So that statement you just said, there's 0 to 3 things wrong.
Yeah, and I think you could probably earn about 3 points if you help me remember all the things that we talked about correctly.
Okay, just hit me with the statement again.
Right. She would go on tour with her dad, Billy Ray Cyrus, and collect women's panties from the stage. For $15 a show, women would throw their panties up on stage. Miley would collect them.
Mm-hmm. This is really fun, actually. I'm really enjoying this twist, Mixtaper. This is really good.
Thank you. I always try to put new twists on Factor Spin when I play against you.
Yeah, for some reason, you always try to put new twists on against me. Not as much as against James. You keep it pretty...
I like to make him unique. And this is just the first round.
Sure.
I've still got normal questions, but...
Oh, you got normal questions as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to recover.
So wait. Oh, this is a chance for us to come back then.
It's a big chance. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to heal, and I wanted to remember what we talked about.
Okay, well, it's a good thing I listened to this episode today in preparation.
I was a little afraid of that.
How right do I have to get it? So, here's what I'm going to say. I know for a fact it was bras, not panties.
Okay. That sounds right to me.
I'm guessing $15 is wrong as well, because that's an easy thing for you to have quote-unquote forgotten. But do I have to know the exact right amount to get the point, or am I just getting the point if that's...
Well, you don't get a point if you correct me and we're still wrong. We gotta clean this up. We gotta be right.
Well, I mean, I've told you it's wrong. That should be worth a point.
You're the Miley Cyrus expert. What's right?
I don't know. I'm going to say it was $20 a night.
Okay. I'm thinking that's not right either. My memory's telling me it was 10.
Well, if your memory's telling you that, why didn't you just say that?
Well, it didn't tell me that at first.
Oh, I see.
I'm rolling with the bit. Ayy-ja Vu.
Oh, okay. Ayy-ja Vu. I love the name.
Thank you.
I also love, though, that anytime you create a new game against me, it can always come back to haunt James as well. I'm not the only one who might suffer from this.
It was the first repeat. I wanted to do something special.
It sets a really interesting precedent for repeats.
It does. But, I mean, you know all the answers. You're a Miley Cyrus expert. You did a bit of a deep dive into all of her stuff.
I did.
Next, we talked about how she plays an uncredited character named Mainframe in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. She says 2 quick lines in the post-credits scene. Me too. Miss you guys so much.
Gosh, how dastardly would you get?
It's the year of healing.
Easy things for you to have changed there if I'm playing the game.
I didn't change anything. I might just be remembering wrong. And I might have remembered it right.
Oh, yeah, sorry. You're right. Sorry, I forgot to go with the bit there. Things you might have remembered wrong. Easy things to get mixed up on, Mixtaper.
Oh, mixed up. I like that. That's a good alternate title.
Yeah. It wasn't 2 lines, probably. It was probably only 1. And let's see, you also said post-credits, so it probably wasn't the post-credits, was it? It wasn't in the movie. I'd remember it was in the movie. So it was either a cut scene or it was a mid-credit scene. I'm going to say it was a cut scene, and it was 1 line, and therefore it wouldn't have been... what you said. It would have probably just been what was her lines? How do you remember her lines?
Well, I remembered her having 2 lines. Me too. I miss you guys so much.
Okay, so it would be weird if she just said me too. So that part probably wasn't on there. I'm going to say 1 line of I miss you guys so much in a cut scene.
Okay. Well,
did I jog your memory?
I think you're right about the 1-line thing. I think I am misremembering that first bit, but I do kind of think it was a mid-credits scene.
It was a mid-credits?
It was mid-credits instead of the end or a cut scene, yeah. You remember what we talked about next?
Whoa, hang on. What about the other thing? I said there was 3 things wrong there.
What? She says 1 line and it's not me too and it's a post-credit scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got one of them wrong.
That's 3 things. Oh, okay, so I got 2 of them right.
Right.
Well, I wasn't sure if maybe she did say me too, and it was I miss you guys so much that you added.
No, it was a mid-credit scene.
That's the only thing I got wrong. Gotcha. Okay, so how many points am I at? I got 3 there, and you got 2. Do you get points?
No, this is just you getting points.
Oh, okay.
What if I got points on the episode where I'm trying to let you catch up? That'd be awful. You got 4.
All right. I got 4. Do I have 4?
So far, you got 2 on the first one and 2 on that one.
I didn't get 2 on the first one, did I? I got that it was bras, but I missed the amount.
Right, that was the one that you missed. Everything else was true.
Right, so I got 1 point there, right, for getting the bra thing, right?
I'm deducting points for things that end up wrong.
Oh, so I get 3 points if I nail it.
Yeah.
And then for each thing that's wrong, I lose a point. So I
Right.
got 2 for that, and I got 2 for this one. Okay, I see how the game works. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, it was hard to frame it as a game and run with the bit.
Yeah.
I couldn't like tell you the rules of my Deja Vu. You get the idea.
Yeah.
What did we talk about next? Do you remember what the third fact that I brought you was?
I have to remember the fact?
No, you don't.
Okay.
I just wondered if you did.
Well, we're getting close to the territory of me just accidentally saying your next facts before you even said them.
Well, this wasn't that. No,
Oh, okay.
we have a little time. This was when Miley was the driver during a hit and run accident. We talked about that.
This was during The Voice, right?
It was during The Voice. Yeah, she backed into an audio trailer, broke her back windshield, but then after she thought she got away with it because no one saw, she was telling Blake Shelton and Alicia Keys about it and didn't realize that she was mic'd up and she tattled on herself.
Well, was Alicia Keys even on that season?
She was, yeah.
Oh, okay. But I don't think it was her. I'm gonna guess it was the dynamic duo Blake Shelton and Adam Levine.
It was indeed the dynamic duo of Blake Shelton and Adam Levine. You're right.
Yeah.
But I absolutely did have to do a little search and see who else the judge on that season was. It was Alicia Keys.
I mean, you could have easily just made up anybody.
Well, I'm not in the business of lying.
Well, I mean, you had to look up who was a judge so that you could misremember it later. I mean, something's going on here.
Well, you're right.
Okay, now are we getting into where we start talking about emus?
Well, yeah, this is where I started to realize that I was in real trouble because this is the only spin that I spun the first time around. Miley, I said she had a pet emu. That wasn't true.
Yep.
I'll fess up to that.
Yep.
But what I did talk about were all her other pets. 15 pets, to be exact.
Wow. Okay, that number could be wrong. I'm not saying it is. I'm making mental note of things you could have accidentally misremembered.
Well, based on how well you knew all her pets the first time around, and you knew that she had a dog named Emu.
Don't worry, I'm mentally going through them right now.
Okay, so you're going through the names of all her pets then, like the 8 dogs. Barbie, Happy Bean, Dora, Kate Moss, Tanny, Daffodil, and Emu.
Okay.
Right? You're going through the names of her 2 pigs, Puddles and Pig Pig. Going through her horses, Pumpkin and Dumplin'. You're going through her 3 cats, Lilo, Kiki, and Brooklyn. You're going through her emu, Emma. That's not true. She doesn't have the emu.
Well, let's say she doesn't have the emu.
But Emma the emu is real. That's her 15 pets.
Yeah, but she can't have 15. Hang on. If she had 15 pets last time and you tried to tell me there was also an emu.
Well, I took Emu the dog away and I made it into a bird.
Right.
But I said 14 pets last time, I think. Or it was 15 pets, but one of them was an emu.
But you replaced the dog.
Yeah, I removed it. I just said she had 7 dogs. Now we're both forgetting. This isn't good.
It's not good.
Well,
first off, I know one of the cats is in Brooklyn. Lilo, Kiki, and Harlem are the cats. I know
good.
that.
Okay, wow. I knew you were a Miley Cyrus expert.
The dogs are really throwing me, and the math here is throwing me.
8 dogs.
Okay, so 8 dogs, 2 pigs, that's 10. 2 horses, 12. 3 cats, 15. But if there was also an emu in the picture...
There wasn't. I said there were 7 dogs. I got rid of Emu the dog, and it changed to Emu the emu. So there were still 15 pets, but one of the 8 dogs...
Okay, you're right. So hang on, let me go through the dogs. Okay, I'm now on board with the math. So you said Barbie, Happy Bean, Kate Moss, Dora, Tanny, Emu, and... Wait, what'd you say? What's the other one?
Daffodil's the other one.
No, it's Daisy. You changed flowers, you dastard.
Man, I can't even believe you. This is why I wanted to play. You're a Miley Cyrus expert.
I know about pets, and you got the pigs, Puddles and Pig. I don't know if you named them earlier.
I did.
And you had the horses, Pumpkin and Dumplin'.
This is so wild.
I know the pets.
You know Miley Cyrus's 15 pets all by name.
Well, yeah, I'm a pet guy.
Do you remember why you knew Miley Cyrus's pets? It's one of my favorite moments in Factor Spin history. You were explaining why you knew all of her pets, and it's because she has tattoos of all of her pets.
Uh-huh.
And you said,
I did a bit of a deep dive into Miley's tattoos.
And
And you went, oh no!
because I was about to tell you that Miley Cyrus has a Franklin Roosevelt tattoo on her left forearm.
Except it was Teddy, but go on. Tell me the rest of your memory before we get into that.
Teddy, Theodore, you're right. Theodore Roosevelt tattoo. It's a quote that he said at the Sorbonne in 1911, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who knew neither victory nor defeat.
So you said Franklin. It was a quote at the Sorbonne in 1911, and then you said the quote.
I did.
I'm going to assert that the year is wrong, but there's no chance I know the actual year.
Okay. Yeah, of course. I've misremembered the year. Who could remember?
I know for a fact that's such a you thing to change, Mixtaper, but I have no shot at getting the year, so I'll lose the point there, but I take the moral victory.
Sure.
Was there anything else wrong about that?
Yes, I think so.
You think so? What else is wrong?
Well, Teddy Roosevelt tattoo, left arm, forearm, quoted.
Did you wait, hang on. Did you tell me where it was?
Yeah, I did.
When I was repeating it to you, Mixtaper, I said, you said Franklin, you said the quotes, or born 1900. Was there anything else? And you said, no, that was it. And so I didn't think you told me where it was.
Oh, I did.
I was so caught up on trying to remember the quote. Oh my gosh, where'd you say it was?
It's on our left forearm.
No, it's not.
Well, where is it?
I know where it is. It might be on her left forearm, actually. Is it on her left forearm? I think it is on her left forearm, actually. I'm going to say, yeah, that is correct. She got it on her left forearm.
Okay. No, it's on her right forearm.
What?
Yeah, the other one.
No. Hang on. Definitely on her left arm. What are you talking about?
It's not.
Definitely. Hang on. Do I know my lefts and my rights? It's on her right in this picture, but if you turn around so you're looking the same way as her, that would be on her left.
Oh, it is on her left. Good job.
About to say, I know where her tattoo is, darn it. How dare you, Mixtaper?
I told you I'm misremembering things. I thought I changed that one.
I was like, hang on. No, it's on her left. Like, what? You're misremembering what you misremembered.
I suppose so.
How are we ever supposed to keep any of this straight? We got one left, right? Wasn't there one more? Didn't you go for a fifth one?
I did go for a fifth one because things just blew out of the water.
Something about French kissing, if I remember what I listened to this morning.
French kissing. Yeah, she got kicked out of school for French kissing.
But wasn't it like a multi thing?
No, it was because she stole her teacher's mobility scooter and French kissed.
Right.
And got kicked out of school.
Right.
She doesn't know why.
Did she French kiss or did she just teach kids how to French kiss?
Well, I don't know how you'd really teach someone to French kiss without doing it.
I mean, instructionally, just given
pointers,
step-by-step instructions. I can tell somebody how to make a peanut butter jelly sandwich without doing it.
That's true.
Anyway, I don't know. What other details do I need to fact check here? I'm like a fact checker right now.
I know. I don't think I had too many other details. It was just late elementary or early middle school. I wasn't really sure which. It was a religious school of some sort. She got kicked out for it. And you tried to throw this one. You tried to take a dive on this.
Yeah, I did.
So I didn't get shut out. And you failed because you called it a spin and it was true.
Yeah, well, I said it was a spin, but then I locked in fact to try to give you the point, and then it ended up being a fact.
Right, that's it, yeah.
That's how that went? Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what you would have changed there. Was it not a religious school? Was it not a mobility scooter? Was it just like I don't know, what was it? What'd you change on? What did you forget on this one, Mixtaper?
Ooh, you want to take a 0 on that?
I don't know what you changed, so I guess I got nothing for you.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to give that a 0. I didn't change anything.
Wait, so I get 3 points for that?
No, you get 0.
What? Why? You said I get 3. You said if I don't mess anything up, I get 3 points.
Yeah,
what
but
my 3 points?
We got 3 questions left.
And if I take 3 points, you'd have to get all 3 right in order to 50-50.
Oh, no, you're right. 3 points. So, well, that takes you up to, 15. That means you were 1 ahead.
I'm 1 ahead?
And now I guess the burden's back on me for 50-50 somehow.
So I'm 1 ahead?
Yeah, we got to keep a live tally now. It's getting down to the wire. So that's good. That's what we talked about last time.
Wait, and how many questions are left?
3.
You got to get 2 and I got to get 1 to 50-50 this.
Uh-huh. Oh, boy, it's close.
Oh, boy.
I built it perfectly this week.
Oh, gosh.
So, that's Ayy-ja Vu. Thank you for helping me remember. That's what we talked about last time.
That was wild.
It was. Well, now we've got 3 normal facts for you. They're a little shorter because I knew that one would take up more time. But pick a number. Call your shot.
1.
Okay. She had tonsil stones.
Okay, are tonsil stones the same thing as tonsillitis or whatever that is? Is that the same thing, or are those different?
They might be related, but it's slightly different. Tonsil stones are little calcium deposits that form in your tonsils and make your breath smell. I've never researched the relationship.
Okay, so when did she have this?
I don't know when it started, but it was sometime before 2019.
Sometime before 2019, okay.
Oh, and yes, as a matter of fact, tonsil stones can trigger tonsillitis.
Can?
Yeah, I had to Google. I wasn't sure if they were officially related, but they definitely could be related.
But can you have tonsillitis without tonsil stones, Mr. WebMD over there?
Let me look. We're not a medical podcast. I think you can. Yeah. You can have tonsillitis without having the presence of stones, and vice versa.
Okay. Did she have tonsillitis, or did she just have the tonsil stones?
She had tonsillitis.
And this was before 2019.
Yeah, she had a tonsillectomy in 2019.
Is that where your tonsils were removed?
I assume so. I don't know what an ectomy is, but she had one.
She had one on her tonsils.
That's right. Those tonsils are ectomied.
I'm gonna go with spin.
Going with spin.
Yeah, I know she had tonsillitis. That's why I kept asking you about that. That's why I kept poking that bear.
I could tell that you knew.
And I was waiting to see how you went with that. And the caginess you had makes me think
It wasn't caginess.
she didn't
I just
actually have...
didn't think to look up whether they were related.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if she had had tonsil stones that developed into tonsillitis, when I said, is that the same thing as tonsillitis, you would have had a more direct answer for me right away, and you didn't.
Oh, that I would have known right away?
Yeah, and so I'm thinking you were cagey because you didn't know if I knew about tonsillitis yet, and so you were being cagey, so that's why I'm going spin.
Okay, well, Miley Cyrus, I mean, you know, she had tonsillitis. She had a tonsillectomy. I don't know if there's any evidence that she had tonsil stones, though. So I have to call it a spin.
Ooh! I'll take that point.
You will take that point.
Which puts me 2 in the lead,
Yeah, it's a tough one.
which means you got to get both of these for 50-50.
We'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out here.
Let's go with number 3 next, assuming I...
Okay. She took a balloon animal making class. I didn't bury any leads here, I guess.
Wow, this feels like a final ramp.
Yeah, it does. But you picked 3, so what do you want from me?
Well, I don't know. Usually when you play against James, the order isn't that you write them down isn't necessarily in ramp order. Why did she, let's start with who took balloon animal making classes?
Oh, I see you're concerned about Ray Stevens type things again, huh? Miley Cyrus.
No. I had a different question in mind, but I thought I'd start here. Who had Miley Cyrus? Okay, who? What had balloon animal making classes?
Miley Cyrus?
When was the balloon animal making classes?
I'm not actually sure if it was like a COVID hobby or something she did when she was like a kid or a teenager. It's unclear.
Where did she have animal balloon making classes?
At Balloon Animal School. I don't know.
Who, what, when, where? Why did she have animal balloon making classes?
I think she just wanted to learn. She was curious about it, saw the class was offered, tried it out for a little bit.
When did you say this was?
Beats me. Sometime in the past. She talked about it in an interview in 2022, but I'm not sure if she did it like as a COVID hobby thing when everyone was making bread, or if she was like a kid, teenager. I don't know.
I'll say I like this one, actually. This feels like a Miley thing to do. And I'm glad it's something I didn't just instantly know. That would have really killed the joy in these final 2.
Yeah, I know. I had to work really hard this week.
So yeah, I'm going to say this is true. I know how to make balloon animals. And so I kind of want to have this in common with Miley Cyrus.
You do know how to make balloon animals. That's true. Okay, locking it in?
Yeah.
All right. Miley Cyrus taking balloon animal making classes is a spin.
Oh.
I got my point. You didn't even ask what she made.
Oh, I didn't.
No, I thought that'd be an easy question. You were so caught up in the who, what, when, where, why.
That probably would have fallen under what, but I asked the wrong what.
What was taking the class is what you said.
Yeah.
Which was a stupid waste of a question.
It was a waste of a question.
And so this is where we find ourselves.
If you get this one, we have a 50-50.
Wild. Miley Cyrus officiated a wedding.
Oh. Whose wedding? No.
What was getting married?
Whose wedding?
Some close personal friends. She didn't really say the names just to maintain and respect privacy, but close personal friends.
When was this?
Actually, kind of recently, 2023.
I don't know what else. Was it? Did she do a good job?
I mean, to hear her tell it, yeah, she did a good job. Guess she got a lot of good feedback. She pretty much wrote the ceremony herself with a little bit of a template, and yeah.
Huh. Did she perform at the wedding?
No, she didn't perform. I mean, she wants the attention to be on the bride and the groom, so I don't think she did any performing. But she did make a couple little references to songs that she ended up messing around with the bride. Not anything that's been released, but I guess they used to write songs together at some point, and she worked it into the ceremony. Real sweet.
Wow. I'm struggling with this one. Here's where I'm at, James.
Okay, well, he's not here.
Oh, so here's where I'm at, Mixtaper.
Yeah.
Sorry, you really got me there.
I did. I made my voice a little too much like James's.
I don't know if I believe this. and my urge to win versus my urge to complete the year-long arc of 50-50 are at a battle right now.
Wow. You don't believe... What's got you hung up?
It's too tame.
It's too tame? Okay.
Yeah, you've been spinning a lot, and then you throw this really tame one, which makes me think... You want me to think, oh, this is tame, it's probably true, which makes me think it's not. I've been taking notes.
You've been taking notes? Okay.
Yeah, you know, when I've been watching James play or listening to James play, I've been taking notes on your tactics. And so I think this is a spin. But for the year of healing, I'm going to lock in...
Tell you what. No. I'll tell you what. Go ahead and lock in whatever you want to lock in. I've still got a way that we can end this 50-50.
No. If we're going to hit the year of healing, 50-50, this year-long arc, it's going to come...
Lock in what you want to lock in, and I assure you the game is not over.
I want it to come without the need for trivial games, but from a purity of friendship and healing. And so to undo the curse that befell us in episode 20, where I locked in trying to give you a point and failing, I lock in true fact, knowing this must be a spin.
But you're taking a dive. I don't want you to take a dive.
I just felt like that was a nice healing gesture.
So you're locking in that this is a fact, but you don't believe it. You just want to end 50-50 with me?
That's correct. The year of healing. It's what we set out to do, Mixtaper.
Well, I can assure you that we made it. This is a spin.
It's a spin! Yes, I've never been so happy to be wrong.
Well, that ends us with 50-50 on the year of healing. We did it.
A year-long arc for those longtime listeners has come to a close.
Yeah, I did have to give you a lot of chances to make up points, but...
You did. Well, that's only because you were a dastard and bribed the squirrels to begin with, so, you know, we're even.
Well, hold on.
Yeah, what? Hold on.
Hold on. I got one more game for you.
Yeah?
Yeah. The season's not over yet.
The year is over, but the season's not?
Oh, no.
We did say this was going to be the end of the season and the year.
Season 7 is not over yet.
Okay.
The year of healing can be. Sure, we went 50-50. I have one more little bit of information for you.
What?
And I'm going to say, let's see. Right now, the hosts are up by 2 on season 7. I'm going to make this worth 2 points so we can go...
You can't just make it worth 2 points.
Yeah, so we can go 50-50 on this season if I get it right.
Oh my gosh. You dastard.
Well, here's what I've done. These last 3 facts that I've told you are true about someone we've talked about on this podcast.
Whoa.
But we've never done an episode. Not a full episode, but people we've talked about on this podcast.
It's too hard.
No, it's not too hard.
Heck, usually it's about somebody we have done. And now you're telling me it's somebody we haven't done?
We've talked about them.
Oh my gosh.
Look, I'm a dastard.
Who could it be?
Tonsil Stones, balloon animal making class, officiated a wedding. All that first stuff in Ayy-ja Vu was about Miley Cyrus, but I'm talking about the last 3. You get it.
How many guesses do I get?
I'll give you 2 guesses.
2 guesses? I feel like I should get 3 strikes.
We've talked about them on the podcast enough. I think you should get the name.
Oh,
Do you want 3 strikes? I'll give you 3 strikes. Sure. It's the year of healing.
there's so many people we've talked about. I know we talked about Jimi Hendrix several times, right?
Ooh, we have. Is that a guess?
I don't know if it is. I don't know.
I think I'm going to have to limit your thinking out loud. Because if you say something out loud and I respond to it, it's going to maybe give things away.
I guess I'll lock that one in as a guess.
Okay, Jimi Hendrix is not the subject here. Although Jimi Hendrix in a balloon animal making class is a pretty fun idea.
Yeah. That one was the weak link there. Who else have we talked about a lot? Kelly Clarkson's come up at least twice. I don't know if that's enough for it to have been notable for you. And she's in the kind of the same genre as Miley, so she might have popped up when you were researching. Is Kelly Clarkson the answer?
Oh, Kelly Clarkson. Wow. I can't believe that's the name you thought of. Kelly Clarkson is not the answer.
Oh!
Last strike.
I don't know. We've talked about so many people and I'm bad with names.
You're not this bad with names.
This doesn't make sense. I have no idea who this could be. So many choices.
To be clear, I'll tell you before the last strike, just in case. Some of the, like, little details I had to fudge to make it Miley Cyrusable.
That makes it even harder.
Well, no, I just mean, like, this person didn't have tonsillectomies. You know what I mean? Like, that was...
Are they at least, like, an actual artist, or is it just, like, a person we've talked about a lot?
I feel like that's giving away too much.
Well, then that means it's probably not a singer, right?
Well, maybe. I'm just telling you the 3 base facts are true. Tonsil Stones, balloon animal making class, officiated a wedding.
I've got one more name, and I'm scared to guess it.
Okay.
There's no way it's this person, right? I mean, but this is totally somebody you would look at.
I don't know.
The only other name that has come up a ton that I shall never forget, despite how many times I pretend to have, is Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones. You think this is a test of whether you remember Quincy Jones?
If you can't tell me if they're part of a performing act or not, makes me think they're not, which the only real person I would ever think of that we've talked about multiple times that wasn't part of a performing act is Quincy Jones.
Well, that's fair.
So that makes me more confident in that. But also, like, does Quincy Jones know how to make balloon animals?
Man, good question. We'll go ahead and lock that in.
I'm going to lock in Quincy Jones.
Okay. I am impressed you remembered Quincy Jones. However, it seems that you have forgotten that little itty bitty fact from like the Carole King episode where we said that Quincy Jones covered Smackwater Jack, which would make him a singer. Although I guess I didn't say this person wasn't a singer.
No, you didn't.
Touche. You know what? Quincy Jones is wrong. You've missed.
I know it was wrong. There's no way I was going to get it right.
These are all true facts about James.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
No.
You didn't know him. You missed him. You've hosted 156 episodes with the guy, and you missed him.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all true about James?
Yeah, they are. And I knew you wouldn't know that.
Oh, I thought you were talking about just like a famous person that we brought up on the podcast.
Pretty famous on this podcast. Pretty famous around these parts. I had a hard time finding stuff about him that you might not know.
I did have a moment where I thought you were going to say that these were all true about you, the Mixtaper, and that we just were going to get 3 new bits of lore about the Mixtaper. That was going to be, I almost guessed you instead of Kelly Clarkson.
Imagine.
I thought I had 3 pretty good guesses.
You did.
I mean, we've talked about Jimi Hendrix, Kelly Clarkson, and Quincy Jones several times.
Yeah, I'm actually... If I were going to do a person, it would have been Quincy Jones.
Yeah, well, I really thought when I was like, I'm bad with names, and you're like, you're not this bad. I was like, well, there's only one name that I forgot once, and it became infamous.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I feel like you just should have known it. It was James. So that's going to put us at a tie, 50-50 for season 7.
I'll be honest. I don't think I knew James had tonsil stones.
No. I know.
I know he knows how to do balloon animals.
Well, you don't know he took a class on it.
I didn't know you took a class on it, but I knew... Well, you also said you changed information, so I didn't know if the class part was real.
No, I told you the main bits were true. The class, the stones, the officiated a wedding.
Fair enough. I don't think I knew you officiated a wedding either.
No, he deliberately didn't tell you because he wanted to save it for a cool reveal.
I thought he was the best man for the wedding or something. I didn't realize he officiated it. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Well, now I have to get him out here so I can ask him about that.
Yeah, you do. And I will retreat until next year. Another era for the podcast and another season for Factor Spin.
50-50 for the year and 50-50 for the season. Thanks to the dastard Mixtaper.
I just wanted to heal us. As much as I could.
Fair enough. Hey, Mixtaper, we're healed. I speak for James in this moment. We're healed.
Thank you. Wow.
Now, what I can't speak for is James and I healing. That's what we've got to find out next. So get out of here. Scram.
Good luck. Oh, man. You got to talk about another Miley Cyrus episode. I don't know if you thought this through.
Yeah.
That's in your court now. Yeah.
James, get back out here.
Whoa, hello. Welcome back. I'm welcome back.
You colluded with the Mixtaper to not tell me you officiated a wedding?
I didn't really collude with him. It just you didn't ask.
The way he told it, you purposely didn't tell me. But what do I know? He's a dastard.
Well, you purposely didn't ask.
I don't know if you could say I purposely didn't ask. I didn't actively go, I wonder if he officiated that wedding. Not going to ask him about it.
Well, maybe you accidentally didn't ask. I don't know. Either way, it didn't come up.
Now that I could cop to. I accidentally didn't ask, and I apologize for that. I'll never not ask you if you officiated something when I know you're going somewhere ever again.
What have I done?
50-50 for the Year of Healing and the season. Maybe a little contrived on the Mixtaper's part, but he's a good dastard like that. That's why he's a dastard and not just... Never mind. I can't say the other word. Well, we ready to talk about the album art?
We sure are. Well, I can't speak for you, but I sure am.
Woo! Acrobatic Miley.
I don't know if she's really acrobatic necessarily, or just gripping onto a trapeze bar. I'm not very acrobatic, and I could do this.
I don't know.
Well, I couldn't do it for long.
Yeah. How long, though? How long do you think she had to hang on to it?
I don't know.
I mean, she's doing it endlessly all summer.
All summer.
Till summer ends.
All summer she hung up there. Wild.
I like it.
Me too. It's kind of minimalist.
It's minimalist, but it stands out.
Yeah.
It is minimal, but recognizable.
Right. I like the option that she's taken to go for like the sky. Mm-hmm. To talk about summer vacation. She's like, I don't know, in a swimsuit type thing. There's blue sky. It looks sunny. It just fits the vibe.
She's specifically behind the part of the sky where it goes from like a lighter blue to a darker blue, which I think implies she's very high up in the air, right?
That's true. I suppose it kind of does.
Like she's been brought up into the atmosphere almost.
Like the bar is taking her upwards.
Yeah.
She's also got some incredibly thin heels on.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those could snap if a breeze hit them.
And I like that there's like no words anywhere on it. It's one of those album arts that like is only identifiable from the art itself.
Yeah.
There's nothing to identify it.
How do you think it compares to Plastic Hearts, which was like very saturated hot pink and black and like punk rock, very maximalist to this minimalist?
I think both album arts can set you up for what style and tone you're going to get on their albums.
I was surprised how much this one matched the tone.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one better. Sorry, Mick Rock.
I think I like this one better too, only because it's a cooler photo, I think. I think the stylistic choice of Plastic Hearts was very cool and very well done, but this one's just, there's something about it. I like looking at this image. It's cool.
It is cool.
Well, shall we dive in to the first track that you've already implied you're going to tear apart?
Buckle up.
Break my heart instantly?
Well, I don't know. Look, come in just with an open mind, But you might have to hold your own hand.
I feel like I should be saying that about you.
Look, I came into this with a surprisingly open mind.
I already told everybody how popular this song was, so...
Yeah, it's true. And I didn't mention before, just today, when I was out and about in public, a place had the radio on, and Flowers came on the radio.
Yeah!
Today. And it's years. I mean, not years, plural, but at least a year since this was out and made its debut. I mean, it's still everywhere.
Yeah, but we're getting into summertime again. Another endless summer begins.
Well, how can another endless summer... If the first summer was really endless, that means another endless summer? Like they're stacking.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it's so hot out. It's all the heat of 2 summers packed into one.
Man, Miley Cyrus has cursed us.
Global warming, the endless summer vacation. Yeah, Flowers. I respect Flowers. As a Record of the Year Grammy winner, I don't particularly personally love Flowers.
What? I don't understand.
The chords, I do like the bass. The bass line is good, but the chords that are over top of it don't move a lot. I don't know.
It's such a groovy song. That boom, 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 boom that's going on.
Yeah.
The drums have a funky little beat going. I mean, I think this song grooves.
It's okay. It definitely has a little bit of an overplayed flavor for me.
Well, it's the most popular song of the year.
I know.
Grammy-winning, so...
But I just feel like I've heard it so much.
Yeah.
I guess people have talked about how it's a riff off of Bruno Mars, If I Was Your Man, how every line in the chorus kind of riffs off of a parallel line in the chorus of that song.
Yeah.
I Should Have Bought You Flowers, Held Your Hand, whatever. And this is like a response kind of song.
I think that's cool.
I don't know. It's okay.
If you're taking like one of the most famous like love song ballads and being like, I'm gonna Uno reverse you.
It's not really a love song.
What? No, the
If I Was Your Man is like I should have done better and I didn't do good enough. And to make this song kind of the opposite of that, like I can do better than you and do better on my own. I don't know. It doesn't line up as well as I would want it to. It's not like a direct opposite. It's just kind of on a tangential direction.
I should have bought you flowers. It's like, I don't need your flowers. Because the Bruno Mars song is all about, I messed up, take me back. I'm sorry that I didn't buy you flowers and I didn't hold your hand and all these things. And this is then now her version of that person's response to that. I mean, like, yeah, you should have, but guess what? I can buy myself flowers. Like, I don't need you. I don't accept your apology, and I'm not taking you back. Like, I think it parallels very well.
Yeah.
This is one of those songs that you've brought before that you have to understand and appreciate what inspired the song.
There has to be a lot of context injected into it to like bolster it.
No. I don't think it needs. I think it's a good song on its own. You just put it on if you don't know anything about it. I think it grooves. I think it's got a funky beat. It's sing-alongable. It's earwormy. But then when you add that layer of where the song comes from and why the Bruno Mars song specifically was chosen to be riffed upon, as you said, I think it adds even more to the song, especially for anybody that's a Miley Cyrus fan.
Yeah. No, I mean, I did notice some breakaway points from Plastic Hearts. I talked a lot on the last episode about how sometimes there's not a lot to dig into in the songs. Right, a lot of the songs on Plastic Hearts feel a little surface level with their lyrics and their themes and stuff. Wow, I mean, you just said yourself right off the bat, like there's a lot of context here. There's a lot more stuff that you could dig into and get down into the nitty-gritty of. The lyrics can be interpreted and extrapolated in a lot of different ways that Plastic Hearts I thought was missing. Endless Summer Vacation kind of breaks away from that a little bit.
The song was released on her ex's birthday, and it riffs on the song he would sing her. That was like his song he would sing her.
Which,
I mean, there's just so many levels.
That's a silly song to sing, your partner, but...
Yeah, it was just, that's why she chose that song specifically to riff on, because it was like one of his favorite songs that he would sing.
Right, that's what I'm saying. There's stuff to dig into. That's context.
Yeah, that just adds to it. It's already a good song on its own.
Plastic Hearts didn't have that, and I think Endless Summer Vacation, even Flowers, does.
Yet you didn't like this one.
Well, there's just a couple, I talked on Plastic Hearts. This is one thing that I think I was too harsh on Plastic Hearts. As I said, her lyrics kind of sound like a third grader could write them. And I mean, on re-listening to Plastic Hearts, probably in full for the first time since
actually doing it.
Pretty recently with that episode. I stand by that for Plastic Hearts. A lot of them were third grade type lyrics. On the whole, these ones are much better. But, I mean, there's still moments like I can talk to myself for hours, say things you don't understand. I don't understand that. What's that? What are you implying?
Oh my gosh.
What's the thing she's saying that he doesn't understand? Another thing, I mean, Flowers is a pop radio hit. So it is, I mean, I talked again on Plastic Hearts, the episode, about how all the songs were kind of formulaic. Typical verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, chorus. Flowers does that also. So there's some similarities.
Yeah.
But there's some significant differences.
I think it just means talk to myself for hours, say things you don't understand. It's like, you never understood me, right? That was a big thing between the two of them. In the public eye was right that, like, she was kind of wild and silly, and he would, like, there's, like, a very famous red carpet video, or, again, not famous, I keep using that word today, infamous.
You tried to use infamous before, but got it wrong.
Yeah. There's, like, an infamous red carpet video where, like, she does something silly, and he, like, leans in, and you can read his lips, and he's like, stop embarrassing me, or whatever.
I hate that.
Yeah, like, they were not clicking even together, right? And so she's now saying, like, yeah, I don't need you to talk to. I can just talk to myself, and I'll say things you could never understand about me because you didn't get me.
Sure, I'll let that stand.
That's good, because if you don't, she doesn't need you. She can hold her own hand.
No. I know. I can score my own albums.
I can podcast better than you can.
Hey, now, that's personal.
Hey, you're the one that went up against Smiley.
You're the one that put me here.
Well, we wouldn't be here if you had done better the first time around.
Fair enough.
Actually, we might still be here. This is a great album. But, we've talked about Flowers. We ready to get a little jaded? Sounds like you're already there.
Jaded is a word that the definition of jaded never sticks.
Really?
Yeah. Made dull, apathetic, or cynical by experience or having seen too much of something.
Yeah.
So you've just experienced it too much and you become jaded.
Yeah, I think it's like the overplayed effect from Flowers, right? You're jaded to Flowers because of how much you've heard it.
Maybe made dull or apathetic or cynical. I'm one of those three.
Yeah. Sometimes more, if not all of them at once.
At least one.
Dang.
Yeah, I think I usually just in my head take jaded in the opposite direction, where you're too ignorant of how something actually is and you're excited about it. That's what my brain wants to do.
Oh, weird.
Because it sounds like a fun word.
It's the guy that usually gets words wrong.
Jade is a stone and it's really cool looking. I get excited about jade. Don't you?
I don't think I do.
Well, then you're jaded. See?
As the guy that's constantly mispronouncing or getting words wrong on this podcast, I don't think I've ever had that problem with the word jaded, which is interesting.
It's one of the few ones that always has got me, and it has long before Endless Summer Vacation.
Okay, how do you feel about this one? This one also has a very interesting start. I feel like that first verse really pulls you in.
Yeah, so that was a problem I had with Plastic Hearts, was that I thought a lot of the verses didn't support what the choruses were doing. That's not true on Endless Summer Vacation in most places.
I feel like verse 1 like sucks you in. There's some very interesting instrumental work going on that like that's going on, and
it's wavy.
Oh yeah, it's very wavy, right? And then that wave carries you to the pre-chorus where she picks up some vocal speed.
Yeah,
that pre-chorus fast. It's for the big hit. I'm sorry that you're jaded. It's a great just rise. Going with the wave, it's like you're cruising down a river, right? And the waves are carrying you down the river. But then you're getting close to the waterfall, so you know the currents pick up speed on the pre-chorus.
Ooh.
And then you go over the edge of the waterfall on the I'm sorry that you're jaded. And then you're just like,
and you're just free falling.
Slow-mo shot of like a boat over the waterfall free falling.
Sure. No, I definitely understand that. It does have a good sense of progression from the start of the verse to the pre-chorus. I do like the chorus. I'm sorry that you're jaded. Could have taken you places. It's a great way to actually follow up Flowers, to talk about breaking away from this relationship where this person was apathetic, you just weren't clicking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you're jaded. We could have been so much better than we ended up being. We went to hell and never came back. Like, dang.
Mm-hmm.
But see, that's like not a third grade lyric. That's a lot more of a mature sentiment than I thought a lot of the stuff we saw in Plastic Hearts.
It is. It kind of gives you the other side of the coin, right? Because Flowers is all about, I don't need you anymore. Sorry. But yet at the same time, there's that reverse side of the coin of like, did I not do enough? Did I not speak up about what was wrong? Did I not put in enough effort to try to make things work before it got too far, right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of like the other side of this coin. Because, you know, she's saying, I'm sorry that you're jaded.
Yeah.
You're lonely now and I hate it. I still feel a little bad that this didn't work out, even though I don't need you anymore and I've moved on. Flowers
is a sorry, not sorry. And then Jaded is like, I'm actually a little sorry.
Okay, but there's a little sorry. Yeah, there's a tiny little drop of sorry.
I have regret. Flowers is sorry, not sorry. Jaded is regret.
Yeah.
There's some interesting background vocals at the end of Jaded. I definitely think dynamically it's really interesting. You're right, the musical decisions on Jaded I liked a lot. And honestly, the vibe of Jaded is a lot more of what I expected a Miley Cyrus album to sound like all the time. I mean, Plastic Hearts included, I expected something more like Jaded from the jump.
I felt like Jaded fit closer to what Plastic Hearts was than Flowers.
Maybe something like High.
I thought Flowers was closer to like Pop Miley than Plastic Hearts Miley, whereas
it's definitely not.
Jaded got a little closer to Plastic Hearts Miley.
I definitely agree with that, but that's just because Flowers was nowhere near Plastic Hearts.
Right. And Jaded's not really that close, but she's got a little bit more of that grunge to her voice in Jaded, and it's, you know, the instruments are a little more in alignment with Plastic Hearts, I felt.
Yeah, I suppose.
But it's still far enough away that I think it would have been weird for Jaded to be on Plastic Hearts. I don't think those sounds would have worked together.
No.
But it's closer.
A little bit.
Anything else about Jaded? I kind of want to give you the opportunity to tell me what I want to hear.
No, I have nothing else to say about Jaded at this time.
Maybe I'm just wearing rose-colored lenses.
The prosecution rests.
Wait, you're the prosecution?
Well, I'm certainly not defending her.
Let's say, I guess I was thinking of it more like you were defending yourself and your opinions, and I was prosecuting you for them. But I guess, yeah, in the context of like Miley being on trial, you're the prosecution and I'm the defense.
Rose-colored lenses. How many songs have we done like this? I mean, we did Baby Blue Shades with Apocalypse Whenever.
Yeah.
And we did Pink Sunglasses with Miranda Lambert.
We've done a couple.
Every song finds a way to use the same idea and be very different.
Yeah, and they're all different.
Yeah. I actually kind of like the straightforward rhythm of this one, the thump, thump, thump of it. It's very straightforward on the drums, on the bass. It drives the song really nicely.
Bum, 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 bum. This is another one that the verse leads into the pre-chorus, leads into the chorus well.
Yes. Way stronger of a verse.
I don't feel disconnected.
Totally. We talked a little on the Plastic Hearts episode, just a little, about how some of the transitions were jarring. Mm-hmm. Not just between verse and chorus, right? But also just song to song. Some spots on Plastic Hearts were a little bit whiplash. Mm-hmm. That's another thing I think gets smoothed out a lot on Endless Summer Vacation. Rose-colored lenses is not nearly as far a jump to Jaded as, I don't know, take your pick. Plastic Hearts to Angels Like You was on Plastic Hearts or anything like that.
Sure. You can tell that pretty much all these songs were written from the same place mentally.
Yeah.
They're just different pieces of the same mental puzzle. There is no title track, but this is the title inspiration track.
Yeah, we could stay like this forever. She sings it right there.
This whole song, I mean, it was described as an infectious beat and serotonin feeling. Rose-colored lenses is a dreamy love song about wanting to stay the same forever and being optimistic. Like an endless summer vacation, which is in verse 2, I believe. The title is dropped.
It is. It's very dreamy and very optimistic. Let's just play pretend like this will never end, stay like this forever. It's another song that just contributes exactly to the vibe of Endless Summer Vacation. Also, you talked about, these songs being written from the same mental place. What you did on Plastic Hearts was you turned it into a concept album. Mm-hmm. Is that a thing that you did or tried to do?
Well, I don't think I have to.
Oh.
I mean, they're all, pretty much all the songs are...
What you get if you turn this into a concept album is just Miley Cyrus in 2022 and 3.
Yeah.
You're right.
You just get Miley Cyrus's mental state at the time of writing this album.
I think that's fair, and I think the fact that that's a lot more evident here, whereas I think, you definitely had to shape it and mold it into that on Plastic Hearts. I think that bodes well for Endless Summer Vacation, too.
That's half the fun, though, for me, is taking something that obviously isn't and turning it into one. That's half the fun. So on something that's closer to just being one, I don't necessarily get the urge to try.
Right. I honed in on a lot of littler moments on Endless Summer Vacation, and maybe that's a consequence of not just listening to it once, but listening to it for a month, pretty much on repeat. But there's a moment I really like in Rose-Colored Lenses where there's a saxophone solo that's just so out of left field and quirky and not what you'd expect.
I was going to ask about the saxophone solo.
It's jazz. It's not conventional for a pop song.
Yeah.
And that really struck me. I really actually kind of appreciated the addition of moments like that just on this album in general. Plastic Hearts, I feel like had none. I think it gives the album a little more personality. I think it makes it stand out a little more, makes it pop in those places, but I definitely liked it.
So I'm glad it sounds like the metaphor of the song. The Rose-Colored Lenses idea, It wasn't something that you instantly came into being like, this is overplayed. I'm glad that...
No, it's not, because she's straightforward about it.
I was worried about that. It's the first one out of the 3 so far that had any sort of this is a popular motif.
Built on a cliche.
Yeah. So I was worried about that.
I have more of a problem with what Flowers did than what Rose-Colored Lenses does.
Oh my gosh.
You're
wrong about Flowers, and I need you to accept that. The world is in disagreement with you.
Think about, when Miranda Lambert did her Rose-Colored Lenses concept, she, danced around it.
Yeah.
And remember how confusing that was?
It was very confusing.
Pink sunglasses? Is she trying to do rose-colored glasses? I'm glad that Miley is straightforward with it. That helps a lot, actually, with understanding what she's going for. And she doesn't beat around the bush, and she doesn't try and do too much, which I think is the trap that we've seen a lot of the other Rose-Colored Glasses songs fall into so far.
Sure.
It's also interesting to follow up a song where she talks so much about staying like this forever and never changing, and things will just exist like this to infinity, Endless Summer Vacation, with a song that's all about changing and how things used to be different.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree. I like that juxtaposition.
I do too. It's a smart album ordering decision, which again, really, really smart, kind of seamless transitions track to track here. Used to Be Young feels like a bit of an apology song. And you know what? Apology accepted.
Dang. I really like the way this starts out with the very soft piano. She keeps doing this thing where she's got a faster vocal rhythm than the instruments, which I think really highlights what she's saying, going to your point of the verses kind of were filler on Plastic Hearts, which I disagree
totally
with, but you've said it.
They were not filler, but definitely on a different level.
I think this is the opposite. The instruments are highlighting the verse lyrics to really pull you into them.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing about it too. We're 4 tracks in here. The production, much like the album cover on Plastic Hearts, was very maximalist. Mm-hmm. Even on quieter songs like High and Angels Like You and Hate Me, Plastic Hearts was super maximalist. I think Endless Summer Vacation takes that minimalism to heart, and it doesn't do more than it needs to.
Yeah.
Especially on songs like Used to Be Young.
But it's it's minimalist, but equally as powerful.
Oh, more so.
I had in here that Angels Like You, this song reminded me of that song, specifically if I had to pick one song off of Plastic Hearts to compare Used to Be Young to.
Really? I'd kind of put it in the same camp thematically, at least, as Golden G-String. Golden G-String was all about her antics and the way that she was perceived.
Yeah, that was the other one. From a lyrical standpoint, yeah, Golden G-String. But from just like the sound of the song, I got a lot of Angels Like You vibes.
I get that.
This is another one that works both ways, right? It both sounds like another conversation with an ex, but it also is just like a conversation to the media and to the world of like, yeah, y'all used to be like, oh, what crazy thing is Miley Cyrus up to? And yeah, I admit I was crazy, but I was also young.
I was allowed to be crazy.
Yeah, that's the time to be crazy.
Yeah, I definitely think the verses and the chorus are on a lot more even footing. If you gave me a verse from Plastic Hearts to, I mean, just in theory, any given song, I probably couldn't remember it well or sing it.
Oh my gosh.
Endless Summer Vacation.
I could probably sing most of that album to you after 84 times in 1 year.
I know. Well, yeah, I guess we didn't talk about how many times you've listened to Endless Summer Vacation, but I can't imagine it's less than 84.
It is probably less than 84.
Really?
Only because I've since episode 20 gotten way more into podcasts, and I don't have an hour-long drive where I can listen to the album like twice over in one drive.
Oh.
I used to have an hour each way drive to work, so that was 2 hours of just listening to Miley on repeat, right?
True.
I no longer have that, and what little drive I do have is mainly filled with podcasts now. So I have not listened to this one that many times, not from a lack of wanting to, just from a lack of available listening time.
But I think back to being able to sing the verses. Endless Summer Vacation, definitely I could do that. At least in my mind, I think a lot of the verses match up better with a lot of the choruses. There are a lot more logical progressions into choruses that make the verses more memorable. Definitely more of a strength.
Yeah. My silence isn't agreement. I just want to make that clear. I just don't want to spend the entire Endless Summer Vacation episode disagreeing with your takes on the Plastic Hearts episode. So I'm allowing you to say what you have to say and just trying to ignore it.
We've already hashed out all the Plastic Hearts things. This is comparative. I'm comparing that album to this one.
Yeah, from episode 20 till now, I've already spoken my disagreements on your take of Plastic Hearts many a time. So here I will spend all my energy just hyping up Endless Summer Vacation.
Right. I'm saying positive moments of growth I've noticed.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. I'm glad that you are finding positive things on this album. I'm just not saying you're saying positive things about Endless Summer Vacation by saying negative things about Plastic Hearts. And I just wanted to make it clear to the audience and to you that when I go, yeah, or whatever, that is just me acknowledging that you have positive things to say about Endless Summer Vacation, not me agreeing with your negative things about Plastic Hearts.
Right. So, one thing on Plastic Hearts, with the exception of Prisoner by Dua Lipa.
The queen, the other queen.
Yeah, I thought the features on Plastic Hearts were often like the weakest parts. And I thought, after going so long without listening to Plastic Hearts, I was like, maybe I just didn't like it because it had fewer features. And I went back and looked and I was like, well, I like Prisoner. So that one I can't include in this. But then all the other features, there's like 2. And there were 2 on Endless Summer Vacation. And I was like, oh, maybe that's not it. But what I think the difference is this musical chameleon-ness that Miley has that I talked about. When she did features and did a Billy Idol song that sounded like Billy Idol, or she did a song with Joan Jett that sounded like a Joan Jett song, I think the same thing is kind of true here with the 2 features we get on Endless Summer Vacation. But is that you just not agreeing with me? You're just doing it really aggressively now that you said that that's what it was.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to be more aggressive with it.
Right. Well, 1,000 Miles features Brandi Carlile. It does not particularly sound like a Brandi Carlile song, and I think that is a thing that I like about it.
Interesting.
It's also interesting that I've ranked entire albums by both features.
But to say, yeah, I don't know much about Brandi Carlile, so I couldn't tell you if it sounds like her songs or not.
She was nominated for the Grammy that Harry Styles won, that album of the year. So I listened to her a year prior to Miley, actually.
So you're saying this doesn't sound like her style?
No, not much from what I'm familiar with. It's a little bit there, but not quite.
It could just be that this style of an album lends itself. You listen to Plastic Hearts, right? And you're getting that style of music, and then all of a sudden you hit a song with a feature that sounds like that artist's work, and those two styles clash, right? Because they're very different.
A little bit.
I think the style of Endless Summer Vacation, it's easier to chameleon into somebody else's style, and it's still somewhat work.
That's true.
If she did pull off her little chameleon routine, it maybe just was less noticeable or less grating when compared to the things around it.
Maybe. me, I think it's that on Plastic Heart, she's trying to sound like Billy Idol or Joan Jett.
And I feel like that was a stylistic choice, right? Because she was like, I want to honor Joan Jett by doing this song in her style.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, a little bit. I get that, but this is...
Yeah, and this is just her being like, I'm taking a peer and having them feature on my album.
Right. She's still saying her thing that she wants to say. Yeah, and working someone into it, and I think that lands a little better.
Yeah.
1,000 Miles is one of the lesser memorable songs on Endless Summer Vacation for me.
It's so weird. I think I agree with you. It is one of the harder ones to remember, but every time it comes on, I'm always like, how can I not remember this? Because I love the instrumentals on this one. The diddly-doo-doo. Like, there's some really fun instrumentals in this one.
Yeah.
And just that rhythm, I'm out of my mind, but da 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 da. Like, it's so jumpy with the vocal melody, too.
The jumpiness doesn't help it for memorability, I think.
For memorability, probably not, but I just think from like it's a very cool run of vocals.
There's also some interesting instruments on here. Somewhere in like the 2-minute mark before the pre-chorus.
Yeah.
I don't know what instrument that is, but it's another moment like the saxophone on rose-colored lenses that I just remember. A little fingerprint, a little quirk.
Right. And so I'm just like, as the instrument guy, how do I not remember this one better?
Because it doesn't change. I think when you start this song, it sounds exactly like it does at the end.
You're right. This one's probably a little more stagnant.
It doesn't have a lot of room for itself to grow.
But just like at like the 2-minute mark there's that bum. Is that what you're referring to? That like kind of in the silence fills that space?
No. I mean, it almost sounds like an accordion or a melodica. Like, whatever that instrument kind of is.
That. Yeah. I don't know what that is, but I know exactly what we're referring to. It's like a harmonica that's been distorted.
Something. Yeah, something like that. But I like it. It's a nice touch because it's not something you'd normally hear on a Miley Cyrus album, and I like that.
Another one that I had highlighted as interested to see what you thought about it is You.
Yeah, if I were a ballad guy, You might be near the top of my list.
But you're not a ballad guy.
I'm not, but I do think You outperforms any of the ballads on Plastic Hearts for me. I liked it better than Angels Like You or High or any of the others.
This is another one that reminded me of Plastic Hearts a little more.
Maybe.
Especially that way that chorus just builds in intensity. It's like the same rhythm, but she just gets a little more intense, a little higher up the scale.
Yeah.
It felt like it was building.
Yeah. I like that it's mostly just her and the piano for a lot of it. Mm-hmm. I think that helps convey a lot of the punch of the song.
Piano and drums.
They come in.
Drums are there pretty consistently.
Yeah, but I like the beginning part without. I like that we get a chance to build into them.
Oh, okay.
Lyrically, I think this is maybe a highlight on the album. Only If It's With You is like such a simple tag for everything that kind of changes the tone of everything she says. I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that, but I don't want to do it alone. Like, that's what changes the entire tone of the song, that quick little line.
It's kind of like the style of song that we've had a few times that we always compare, where it's like, I'm going to do all these things, but actually I can't do any of these things because I'd have to stop loving you to do them or whatever, right? Those style songs.
Yeah, there's so many.
It's like that, but different, right? But it's that same side of thing, like, here's a bunch of things I want to do, but I'm not going to do them unless it's with you.
Yeah.
You know, because usually it's the other way. It's, these are all these things I want to do, but I'm not going to do them because I'll never get over you. Never get over you, Ray Stevens. I mean,
I knew you were going right for that.
But this one's like, I guess, kind of similar, right? Where if you assume that it's about her still speaking about an ex, then it's, I want to do all these things, but only if it's with you. And since you're my ex now, I can't do them.
Nah, I think of its future.
Or if it's now like I'm with somebody new that I'm in love with or whatever, and these are all the things I want to do, but only with you, not with any of my exes. You know, you're the new apple of my eye, sort of thing.
I think this is future looking. I think because we've got lines like, I want to drive to Texas and flip off my exes. I've got baggage, but let's do some damage. We're looking past it. Like, it feels very much like a new relationship with someone who understands her a little better and is willing to go out on a limb and do all these other things that she couldn't do in the past.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's the happier, more optimistic way to look at it, but I think it very easily could be the other way around of like, past midnight when only bad things can happen, don't go texting your exes after midnight, people. When you stayed up too late and your mind starts to wander and you're going, man, I miss all these wild things you and I used to do, and I only want to do them with you. I miss you, sort of sadness to it, is another take somebody could make, especially if you're listening to the song in that state of mind. You could easily take it that way instead of the happier way. It's another good example, I think, of how her songs can be interpreted differently.
See what I mean? Shovel. There's a lot to dig into here. Get your shovel, because it's not like surface level. We got some wiggle room here.
It's been a while since I've had one of my classic Connor stupid notes.
It has.
And I had one for this one.
For you? Yeah.
Verse 1, get kind of reckless and have wild, wild, wild. Am I allowed to say that next word on this family-friendly podcast?
Look, I mean, the Mixtaper talked about being conceived in an elevator the other week.
That's true. Get kind of reckless and have wild, wild, wild sex under the moon. I just wrote, doesn't she know that's how werewolves are born?
Don't you know that that's not how werewolves are born? I mean, if it could be.
Well, I think that's how werewolves are born. Usually werewolves are made, not born. But if you were to try to birth one, it would be by doing it under the full moon.
Well, otherwise you just give birth to a human that would turn into a werewolf.
Right.
Is a werewolf that's in their human form a human or a werewolf?
No, I think they're still a werewolf. I think you are a werewolf, regardless of what form. You're just either in wolf form.
Like you are a transformer, no matter whether you're a car or you're a robot.
Exactly.
Okay, makes sense.
But anyway, I wrote that down and then was like, man, it's been a while since I've written something like that down in my notes.
That's yeah.
I did it to myself on my own pick. I'll be honest, I'm liking the things you're saying so far.
Okay, good.
Makes me want to do a handstand.
Can you do a handstand?
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
I don't know if I still can. Let's just say I used to, and it has probably been, gosh. I probably have not tried to do a handstand since freshman year of college when I know I did one.
Wow.
So I would say it's been quite a while since I've tried to do one, but I was able to do one then. I'm not saying I'm like the best at it or at any means can hold it for very long compared to like a gymnast, but I can do one.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Could do one.
Could in the past, yeah.
And regardless of if I could or couldn't, doesn't mean I don't want to.
That's true.
Handstands up next.
Oh, yes, it is. I thought you were just really excited by what I was saying. Turns out you just went for the clever transition.
Yeah. I love that we instantly get the use of the word dinghy.
Yeah, neon dinghy past the manta rays and the palm trees. What did you think about this spoken word bit at the beginning of Handstand? You don't like spoken words in songs or skits or anything like that.
Nah. There's been a couple instances where I've been okay with it.
Okay.
Another note I had that I'm afraid to put this comparison in your head because it's another thing you don't like, but the beginning of the song gave me Stranger Things intro music vibes.
Well, just because I don't like the TV show Stranger Things, I mean, that has very little relevance on... I mean, we talked about the theme song for Stranger Things, right?
Yeah, you also didn't care for their theme song. I don't remember if it made it in there or if it got cut because of how nothing it was. But you had bad things to say about it outside the podcast if we didn't do it.
Well, the title sequence for Stranger Things is silly because it just shows the letters of Stranger Things differently. I don't think I had a problem with the theme song so much as the title sequence, but that's neither here nor there.
Anyway, no, I did not mind it here.
Handstand, to continue my streak of comparison, I think in a lot of ways Plastic Hearts plays it a little safe. I don't think there's any songs on Plastic Hearts that take too many risks. And that kind of goes hand in hand with being formulaic, right? Verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, chorus. A lot of the songs are constructed from a template. A lot of the songs are just expected, right? Handstand, on the other hand, is a song that I did not expect. Handstand is the epitome, to me, of what makes Endless Summer Vacation a different record than Plastic Hearts. Plastic Hearts would never do anything like this.
I don't know, because I feel like Plastic Hearts was a pretty big departure in sound for like what most people think of Miley Cyrus.
Well, and that might be part of it, too.
In that way, it is nothing but risk.
Maybe? Well, Handstand is something I might expect, I guess, from someone who did Wrecking Ball and an album called Miley Cyrus and Her Dead Pets and like that sort of thing. Handstand is just a little more of what I maybe would expect from a Miley Cyrus album, and I guess the fact that I didn't get it on Plastic Hearts also worked against it there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think your argument was backwards. Is basically you just confirmed what I was saying. That I think Plastic Hearts is the bigger departure, and this
I don't think so. As an album, Plastic Hearts plays it too safe. I wanted risk. I wanted weird.
It's nothing but risk.
Plastic Hearts is so safe.
It's all new sound for Miley Cyrus.
For Miley Cyrus, maybe, but as a musical album, it doesn't do anything nobody's done before.
No, I disagree.
We're back on Plastic Hearts again.
I know.
Plastic Hearts doesn't do anything, I feel like, new. I feel like I've heard everything Plastic Hearts tried to do. Because it was Miley trying to do Joan Jett, or Miley trying to do punk rock.
And you've never heard somebody speak over a weird synth line? Like what?
Handstand is a very Miley Cyrus kind of song.
Yeah, which means it's something you've heard her do before, so I don't understand what you're trying to say right now.
It's what I wanted from a Miley Cyrus album, and Plastic Hearts didn't give it to me.
Because Plastic Hearts did something new and unexpected for Miley Cyrus, which is the exact opposite of what you just tried to say. But we're done. I'm moving on. I'm not going to talk about it anymore.
But we're talking all albums ever. Plastic Hearts didn't do anything different. This is unique. Plastic Hearts is an album that a lot of people could make. Endless Summer Vacation is an album that Miley Cyrus can make.
I don't know. I think that's too broad of a statement to ever be able to agree to.
Okay. Well, I did really like Handstand.
I did too.
I thought it was a great track to bury in the middle of the album like this. I thought it was a good refresher, a good palate cleanser between you and the emotions of that, and then what we're about to get into on the back half of the album. I think Handstand is kind of a crucial piece of this album. I think the album would be a lot worse off if you removed it.
The weird hip-hop techno vibe halfway through the song where it sounds like somebody mixed it literally on a mixing board at a high school dance. Like, you know?
Yeah, it changes. It does turn into a real song.
It gets real. I was like, man, this is like, what is happening here?
To me, I don't know. Just in the same way that the album cover epitomizes Endless Summer Vacation, Handstand epitomizes Endless Summer Vacation.
Okay.
And to go with that new synthy sound that we've just introduced on Handstand, we move straight into River.
We do.
Which brings the synth back, but in a lot more up-tempo way.
Hey, we're back on the river, headed towards the waterfall.
I suppose. River is an exciting song. It's the fastest song on the album so far. We really turn a corner now that I'm thinking about it with Handstand. I mean, the first half of the album, yeah, has its moments of like Flowers is a little upbeat. But for the most part, Flowers, Jaded, Rose-Colored Lenses, Used to Be Young, 1,000 Miles, and You are all slower kind of songs. And what we're getting into now is like a way more up-tempo, energetic back half of the album. And I kind of really like that flow of it. I've never thought about it before this moment, but I just really like that energy. The way we kind of slingshot around Handstand and come out screaming into the back half.
Mm-hmm.
River also has a lot of like, I don't know, soft R&B kind of hip-hop vibes.
Yeah, Handstand and River kind of, we've switched genres.
A little bit. And switching genres is a thing that's unthinkable on Plastic Hearts. So
I really like the pre-chorus of this one. That heart beats so loud that it's drowning me out. I really like that. It did make me just a tiny. I could never be disappointed in my girl. Okay,
never
get that straight. Well, maybe not never, but it'd be pretty darn hard. But the chorus is just, you're just like a river over and over, and that's kind of the first time that's happened.
Look at that. I know. Look at how far we've come. Look at how far we've come from Plastic Hearts, where the verses were nothing and the choruses were everything. We flipped it on its head, and now the verses are everything, and the chorus is less. It's amazing. This album is like Plastic Hearts doing a 180 in a lot of ways.
It just really made me a little sad, especially because then we hit the typical thing of the end of the like last minute of the song is just the chorus on repeat.
That's true.
And when the chorus is on repeat for the last minute and the chorus itself is just a repeat, you get a whole minute of just, you're just like a river.
Well, I like the vibes of River. River has all the funk of Flowers.
So that's what does it for me. It has a lot of funk. The instruments are catchy. Like, I can vibe to it. It's just, it was the first one in 8 tracks that lyrically just kind of not disappointed me, but it was a little not up to normal standards. It was an off day.
You think River is an off day?
Lyrically. Only lyrically.
Interesting.
And it's mainly just because most of the lines are just the words, you're just like a river.
Well, you know, a river is just water.
Verse 1 and verse 2 are great. The pre-chorus, pretty darn good. It's just the chorus was a little bit of an off day for the chorus.
I think it's good to have some variety. Variety is a thing that Plastic Hearts did not have.
I'm not saying it. Listen, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm not saying it was bad. Just that.
Why do I feel like I'm suddenly the one on defense here? Weird.
So I'm not saying anything negative. I would never say anything negative about my girl, but
that butt speaks volumes.
Maybe it's because it's sandwiched between Handstand and Violet Chemistry is what really just makes that stand out.
Maybe.
Violet Chemistry is great.
Yeah, Violet Chemistry was different.
We're still in that kind of synth poppy section of the album.
We sure are. We don't come out of it for a while.
No, we don't.
This does definitely feel like a club kind of song. It's loud, it's fast, it's kind of... Parts of Violet Chemistry kind of feel like the musical equivalent of what strobe lights do to your eyes. Does that make sense to listen to it? I definitely get that same effect audibly. I think it's just in the way that it's produced. Some of the instruments and sounds in the background have that same kind of wobble and pulse to them.
It just feels like there should be a strobe light going when you're listening to this.
Yeah, maybe that. Maybe that's it, but I don't know.
Okay.
What do you think Violet Chemistry really is?
It's talking about, I think, like that instant, at least attraction, if not like love at first sight style encounter you have with somebody new.
Oh, like, okay, Taylor Swift did Lavender Haze. Maybe this is the same kind of like Violet.
Yeah.
Like drawing from that same sentiment.
Kind of, that's what I get.
I do like that. I like the horns here. I figured you'd be big on Violet Chemistry for the brass section.
This song is a highlight for me.
Highlight? Wow.
Yeah, this song's a highlight for me.
Sounds like you got a lot of Violet Chemistry with Violet Chemistry.
Apparently.
This also kind of has a lesser chorus. I think the verses are better than the chorus on Violet Chemistry too.
No, I don't know.
Stay a while, don't deny the Violet Chemistry. Stay a while, put your arms around me. Stay a while. It's a lot of staying.
The highlight of the chorus is just the sound during the chorus is so catchy.
Yeah, well, it's the same thing with River. We're talking about lyrics.
Nah, River was just, even the instruments wasn't enough to save River.
Man, I really like the bridge on Violet Chemistry.
The bridge is really good.
Kind of relentless. I do like that. And then everything cuts back, all the strobe lighty production. We kind of just get a beat. It's nice.
But yeah, no, I think Violet, going back, we kind of got off of it very quickly. But to answer your question more in detail, I think Violet Chemistry is meant to be like a Lavender Haze, where it's just two people either meet. I don't know why, and you've not seen the movie, I think, that hits this connection. But I just get like love potion vibes out of Violet Chemistry, right? It's just like this, like a love potion is supposed to create these strong, loving attraction feelings in the person you give it to, right?
Yeah.
Just the idea of like, how would you bottle that is like you're trying to bottle that emotion you have when you get that instant connection to somebody. That love at first sight connection is like what you're trying to create. I don't know. It's got that club feel to it. The haziness of stay a while. And it almost feels like one half of the party doesn't want to acknowledge those feelings, right? And that's why they're saying, just stay here. Don't deny the Violet Chemistry. Be a part of it. Give into it, right?
I think everybody's in on it. I don't think there's any denial.
No, I think there is. It's literally, the chorus says, stay a while, don't deny the Violet Chemistry. I think it's...
Well, yeah, I don't think they're denying it. I think they feel it too.
Well, they do feel it, but they're trying to deny it, and that's why the singer's saying, stay. Don't deny it.
Maybe.
Give into it. It's like a seduction kind of song.
It's a stronger song. And we go from a highlight to what I think is a low light.
A low light? I was like, what?
Yeah.
But it's got Sia, our other feature.
Sia is here, yeah. And I've scored a whole Sia album.
Oh.
But Muddy Feet.
And sounds like on this album, you're saying, see ya later. See ya?
Nice. That's good. Yeah, I am. That means I guess my favorite feature defaults to Brandi Carlile. But I don't know. Just in general, Sia's part of the song kind of sounds like Sia, which is, I mean, again, that musical chameleon coming through.
Uh-huh.
Miley's part of the song kind of sounds like Miley. It just doesn't click with me. It's just not my kind of song. And not every song is going to be my kind of song, but Muddy Feet is not. Lyrically, we've kind of regressed into get out of my life, get out of my house. Who you messing with? I don't know what you're thinking. You're coming around with Muddy Feet. I'm going to do something. That's it. That's the whole song summed up in 3 seconds. Lyrically, doesn't scratch the itch. Musically, doesn't scratch the itch. I'm still itching after Muddy Feet. Thankfully, mercifully, it's only 2 minutes and 16 seconds.
I agree. This one's probably in the bottom 3 for me as well on this album.
Yay, we agreed on a bottom 3.
The chorus was the most similar of everything on this album to Plastic Hearts. I think it has that metal grunge vibe to it.
100%.
I'm in agreement. I do just like the concept of a song about you coming around with your muddy feet.
I mean, I guess. Tracking mud in my house.
I don't know. Yeah, anybody who played outside as a kid definitely got yelled at by their parents for tracking mud into the house, right?
I think this is a little different, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but this is like the emotional version of having muddy feet, right? Like you've gone out mudding with another girl, and now you're tracking your mud all over my heart.
Sure.
You're getting another person's mud on my heart.
On their plastic heart. Muddy Feet, Plastic Hearts.
Oh.
My classification as Brandi Carlile's my best feature stands true in my album rankings, too. In These Silent Days is the one I scored from her, and it ranks a lot higher than Sia's This Is Acting.
I see.
You Sia.
Did you know that this song was performed by Miley with Sia and Paris Hilton on New Year's Eve?
Maybe I knew that. I don't know if I knew that or not.
Yeah.
The Mixtaper might have come across that.
On New Year's Eve, Sia, Miley, and Paris Hilton all sang this song together.
That's pretty wild. It's not a very sing-alongable song. And, I mean, you talked about how it's kind of the most this album gets to being like Plastic Hearts. I would say Wildcard is maybe the second closest it gets to being like Plastic Hearts in terms of just the way she sings it and the vocal punch of it.
Yeah, we've kind of entered back into grunge metal genre here for a minute. We've got now the techno.
Yeah, a little bit.
The chameleon's on the move.
Yeah, well, it's just this album has a lot more texture, I think, than Plastic Hearts did.
Yeah.
Where that's one flavor all the way through. I mean, you've talked several times already about how we've moved from this genre to that genre or this style to that style, and I think that just keeps it a lot more engaging to me.
I just like the idea of the chameleon being on the move.
Changing colors as it runs.
Yeah, as it changes what's in front of it, it's changing its color.
But you never see it coming.
I like Wildcard.
It's a wild card.
It's another one that the chorus is really good.
It's okay. I'm neutral on Wildcard.
I think you're probably neutral on it because it has one of the weaker verses on the whole album.
It does.
I think the chorus is weaker, but then you hit that pre-chorus, which is great, and it ramps you perfectly into that, I'm a wild card, ooh.
I guess, but Loving You Is Never Enough and Forever May Never Come kind of get annoying to me.
No, what? Why?
They just do. It's just two notes kind of tossed back and forth.
I disagree. But verse 2, okay, I said that there was weaker verses, but verse 2 is pretty good. I walk in the door with my lips stained red, pillows on the floor, and the flowers dead, make the music stop before it starts.
Flowers dead? I am a fan.
Because don't forget, baby, I'm a wild card. What now? You're not a fan?
I said Flowers dead? I am a fan.
I think it's good. Especially if you take it back to your least favorite song, Flowers, about,
Right.
I'm going to buy myself flowers.
She's going to have to now.
I don't know, I like wild card.
Wildcard's okay. I don't dislike it. That's the end of the sentence.
Fair enough. What about Island? My first note was, this definitely sounds like I'm on an island listening to this.
It's different. Definitely more summer, hot day out vibes. I'm looking out over the ocean. I can see the heat distorting the horizon on Island.
Yep.
It's got an interesting pulse to it, too.
Do you have treasures buried underneath the sand?
If I do, I haven't found them yet.
I mean, who doesn't, right?
I mean, I guess. Where else are you going to bury treasure?
I think it's an interesting metaphor, this one.
It is. And to say in the lyrics, we've got a shovel and stuff to dig into so we can find that buried treasure. I'm sticking with there's a lot more depth to this.
Mm-hmm.
Am I stranded on an island or have I landed in paradise?
Uh-huh.
Is this situation where I have nothing exactly what I needed?
I just think that's so clever, right? Because those are like the two ways you think about islands. Either an island paradise or stranded on an island. That's like the two ways people think about islands.
Usually.
See, it's like those two and Hawaii, which you could argue falls in one of those two, depending on if there's been a volcano recently.
It is a volcano all the time.
Yeah. I just think it's so interesting. Am I stranded on an island or have I landed in paradise? So clever. Also, I am a little confused still about the line, Mama told me girls smoke them if you got them. I'm not sure what that means.
What do you mean you don't know what that means?
What is she smoking? Is it cigarettes? Is it literal? Or like what is she supposed to be smoking?
Yeah, in general, the sentiment, it's a literal phrase. Like if you've got something, use it and take advantage of it because you don't know how long you're going to have it or when it's going to be gone. In this sense, it kind of works double duty. As a literal thing, she talks about leaving her lighter at home, right?
Yeah, with all of her problems.
So she can't even smoke them, even though she's got them.
So yeah, I kind of get that, right? So that line I really like. Left my lighter back at home with all my problems, right? Because that really plays into the chorus. Hey, all my problems are back at home, so this might be paradise, but also I don't have my lighter that I need for my cigarettes that I'm addicted to. So am I stranded? Like I'm without the things I normally need or want. So am I stranded?
But it's better for you. And if they're not cigarettes, and could be, other drugs of sorts, they could be like an escapist kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have your problems, you don't need your lighter because you got nothing to escape from.
It's true. Here's a fun fact about this you may or may not know.
I don't know it.
Miley teased these lyrics on postcards that she sent to fans to promote the album before it came out.
Oh, I knew that.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't know that. That was new. That's cool.
Yeah. Just sent out postcards that said, Mama told me girls smoke them if you got them. And then she signed it and sent it out.
Wild.
And I think it's clever, right? Because sending out on a postcard, that's like a thing you do when you go on like an island vacation or when you go on vacation somewhere. Send postcards.
Sure.
Right? So I think it was very clever.
Good marketing.
Good marketing.
I think Island has one of the less memorable melodies on the album. Thematically and lyrically, it's pretty strong. Melodically, it's good for what it is, but I'm just so overwhelmed by the first part of the second half of this album that Island tends to get a little lost.
Sure. Well, then that brings us to our final track, assuming we're not talking about the Flowers demo.
Please, no.
That leaves us with Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Who did it better, Miley or Casey Musgraves?
I think you know my answer to that.
And I think you know mine.
Do I?
Yes.
What's the answer?
Well, we're not talking about it today.
Oh, no.
That's not a slight on this Wonder Woman. It's interesting.
It's a ballad. I'm the ballad guy.
Yeah. Well, I said I liked the part of where it was Miley and the piano on You. And here we have Miley and the piano. I think she executes this really, really well. It's a nice, soft, sweet moment to end the album. As
a tribute to moms, we've had a couple songs like that. I'm Sorry, Mom from Band Camino.
That's true.
Which is kind of a me pick, even though it wasn't officially a me pick.
Yeah.
So, as a tribute to moms, good song.
I do like that. This is a good tribute song.
This one's for all the moms out there.
Shout out to you. I don't really want to talk about the Flowers demo, but I am curious what you thought about it.
Well,
like compared to the original. Better? Worse?
I think nothing beats the... I mean, if this is the demo, wouldn't this technically be the original?
Ooh, well,
As a demo?
fair enough. Yeah, I guess you're right. This one did come first.
I think the finalized Polar song is hard to beat, but I know you don't like it. But I think the demo has some very interesting changes or differences.
It does. I almost think I like the style of the demo better.
That it's more like ballady and
Yeah.
like not all popped up.
It's not all popped up.
Yeah, I think you need it to be popped up for the song. As much as you think it's overplayed and you're jaded towards it.
Well, I mean,
I think it's too sad otherwise.
yeah.
It would never go on to be as successful as it was in a ballad format.
No. Yeah, this isn't a record of the year.
Yeah, in a ballad format. I think it makes an interesting ballad, and peeling back the layers of how this album can be interpreted very many different ways. I think the ballad interpretation version of it unlocks a very interesting feeling and interpretation of the song.
But yeah, it makes me appreciate the song more.
Yeah.
Because it feels a lot more emotional.
If you want to have the best song of the year, it's got to be popped up.
I think this is the better version of it, but it's not a hit. Yes.
Some would argue that if it's not a hit, it's not the better version. But that's just some.
Right.
Well, we said we weren't going to talk about it, but we did. So now it's final spin.
That's final spin. The last final spin in the year of healing.
And I got to go first, I assume.
Yeah, you do have to go first. Yeah. I feel like we all know where this is headed for you.
Well, I set a rule for myself that I have not broken yet
That's true.
of only bringing nines.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see where this ranks for you compared to Endless Summer Vacation. They're very different albums.
Very different albums. I really enjoyed it, obviously, since I picked it. I could probably count on one hand the number of albums I listened to on the day it came out in my entire life.
Really?
And this would be one of them.
All because of Dua Lipa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who you introduced me to. So really, you have yourself to blame for this.
To blame. Yeah.
If you need somebody to blame. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and say I'm going to give this one 9 either broken or healed plastic hearts, but I won't lock in which one until I hear your score. So it's on you what my unit is this week.
Man, a lot of pressure. I'm feeling the heat. So where in those 9s does it go?
As for placements, they're very different albums.
Totally. Don't put them right next to each other. I mean, you can if you want, but
But they're going right next to each other.
no way. Really?
Yeah. Mainly because of what's around it. I mean, they make it split eventually, but I like this less than Florence and the Machines, How Big, How Blue, How Beautiful, but more than Stick Season by Noah Kahan, which means it has to go next to Plastic Hearts.
Okay, but which side? Is this better? Is this an improvement? Or is this worse than Plastic Hearts? Is this a downgrade?
Well, I re-listened to Plastic Hearts
As we all did.
for this episode, not only just because I like Plastic Hearts, but also to try to help break this. And I'm going to have to give it to Plastic Hearts. I'm putting this below Plastic Hearts.
That's wild.
I mean, I listened to Plastic Hearts 84 times on repeat, which means there's basically, for me, not really a meh song. Whereas on this one, there was one or two that I was kind of like, bottom 3, right?
Yeah.
There's something about Plastic Hearts and how I discovered it and how many times I listened to it that it's always going to hold a special place in my heart,
Fair enough.
in my Plastic Heart.
Yeah.
And so that's where it's going to go, right below Plastic Hearts.
That's wild.
And as for my top 3,
Oh, yeah, you still do a top 3.
in album order, Flowers,
Yeah.
Jaded,
Okay.
honorable mention to Rose-Colored Lenses,
Interesting.
Used to Be Young, honorable mention 1,000 Miles, honorable mention You,
Am I penalizing you for these? This is your pick. It's the year of healing. I guess you could keep all your...
Violet Chemistry,
Oh, wow.
and Wildcard.
Yeah, you'd take the next year. That's like a quarter of the year. You'd already be without picks.
I took 4 extra picks, so that'd be a month. 1 month of the next year would be without a honorable mention.
Wild.
I do not request leniency, but if it is granted to me, I will obviously take it.
No, we can't end the year with an outstanding balance. And I expected nothing different from you on a Miley Cyrus album that you picked and brought.
Of 14, I took 8, which I think was being conservative of me.
I actually agree with you. And so that's another reason not to penalize. Oh, boy. I guess that makes it my turn?
Yeah.
So your whole goal was to break into the top 100. And this has always been your goal, and you haven't done it. You've come really, really close. I think Alan Jackson was right on the cusp, and
Yeah.
Barry Manilow was pretty close. And I don't know, there have been a few times you've been near the mark, but you haven't done it.
Yeah. That was the goal for the year of healing.
I just want to get like a self-evaluation on how you think you did.
Well, my first pick, I wanted to get into the top 100. I was very passionate about it. And then it ranked so far away, and it was such such a low score compared to a lot of your spreadsheet.
Yeah.
That it really just, it broke the plastic heart that led to the year of vengeance and eventually to this year of healing. And so I thought, I've tried so many other albums to heal us with, and I've come so close, like you've said, that I think I had to take one last swing at it using the thing that broke us in the first place. Maybe, no album was ever going to heal us as long as there was a plastic heart-sized fissure.
In your heart?
Yeah, in my heart.
There's a plastic heart-sized hole in my heart.
Yeah.
Well, how do you think you did? Do you think this did it? Do you think it was close, far away?
I don't think it did it, and I wasn't sure. Again, I'm not even sure it's possible. I've come to the conclusion it's going to be very hard for me to ever do it, because if it's top 100 worthy, you've probably discovered it before me as the music guy. You're in the world, you listen to way more music than me. If something's top 100 worthy, you've probably already found it. So it's going to be very hard for me to find that one diamond in the rough and bring it to you. I've come to terms with that over this last year. Done a lot of therapy with the Mixtaper.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. But I think I gave it a darn good shot with this one. I think this one for you is going to score where I thought Plastic Hearts would score back on episode 20. That is my prediction.
Okay.
Back then I wanted top 100 for Plastic Hearts, but there was a threshold I was willing to accept outside of that. And I think this one will fall in that threshold.
Gotcha. Well, I scored Plastic Hearts. An 81.1 was its final score. And as far as like the list to date, it is now in position 510.
I mean, it's not even the top 500. Oh.
Well, I mean, it's been years, 2 years, right? A lot of stuff has gone in between it, where it started and where it came now. It was in the mid 400s or even 300s. I don't remember for sure. But I want to dispel the myth that I didn't like Plastic Hearts. You kept saying I hated it. I said I was a little harsh on it in the episode. I ended up putting 8 songs from Plastic Hearts on my own personal playlist. And they've been there since we did the episode, just for the record. So Plastic Hearts didn't maybe get the score. It had its moments. I think I've talked a lot about the stuff that I didn't like on Plastic Hearts. The verses being what they are, the surface level kind of lyrics, and the simple rhyme choices, and just the punk rock vibe. It was not what I was expecting from a Miley Cyrus album. And I think it let me down in a lot of ways. But you know what? I used to be young. As for Endless Summer Vacation, I'm going to give the music a 90.
90? Okay, that's good.
A 90. I thought it was engaging and really fun, high energy. I liked the contrast between...
For the audience, pretty much if I want to break top 100, I've got to have 3 of your 4 scores crack a 90. Preferably the first 2, which are weighted higher. But if one of the first 2 doesn't crack a 90, I definitely have to have the last 2-ish as a general rule of thumb. That's how I know if I'm close.
Yeah.
So starting with a 90 in music, that's a strong start.
Yeah, I think this album has a lot of good music. Like I said, I can remember and sing along with most of the choruses here, and even the verses, which is a thing that just did not happen on Plastic Hearts. Lyrically, I'm giving it an 89. There's not quite as much surface level stuff here. There's a lot more you can dig into, a lot more context to be implied and inferred, a lot more open avenues to interpretation that you could take things. And I like that. I like having somewhere to go with the lyrics. And I also just generally think this album is a lot more mature than Plastic Hearts was.
Okay.
Instruments and production, I really like the contrast between the maximalist, loud, fuzzy, gritty, kind of overbearing Plastic Hearts, and then what we got on Endless Summer Vacation, the more minimalist, sleek, poppy style that uses a wide variety of instruments, right? The synths, the accordion, melodica kind of things, the saxophones and the horn sections. There's a lot more variety here, and I think that works to the album's benefit. I think it makes a lot of the album feel a lot more distinct. Plastic Hearts feels like one long grunge excursion, whereas Endless Summer Vacation really does feel a little endless. As you move like genre to genre, nothing ever gets super stale. I'm giving instruments and production a 91.
Okay. So what, we're at a 90? Did you say an 89?
Yup.
And a 91. We're close. It all comes down to vibe. Did you vibe with this?
I think I did. This is what I kind of expected from a Miley Cyrus album all along.
Okay.
This is what I kind of figured Plastic Hearts would be more like, and it wasn't, and that was a letdown. I think this is a super listenable album. I like the way that all these puzzle pieces fit together to kind of just make Miley Cyrus in a way that does it a lot better than Plastic Hearts does. I think Endless Summer Vacation feels a lot more genuine to her actual lived experience, and I like that. Giving Vibe a 93.
Wait, what's that mean? What's the overall score? That's close. That is close. Audience, this is the closest I've ever been. What is it? What's our final score?
The overall score is a 91.4.
I think does that do it? Did I crack top 100?
Endless Summer Vacation is number 63. You did it.
Yes! Oh! Finally!
I was shocked. I was surprised at how much I liked this. And I mean, after the experience I had with Plastic Hearts, I tried to come in with an open mind, but my expectations were a little low. And I think maybe that helped a little bit because Endless Summer Vacation pretty much blew them out of the water.
Oh, yes. I just ripped my headrest off my chair in excitement on accident. Hang on.
Good grief.
There we go. All better.
So I listened to this and I was like, wow, maybe Plastic Hearts was just the outlier? And I liked this so much, I even went back and listened to Bangers for a month. And I've even heard some of Miley Cyrus and her Dead Pets. And honestly, no offense, I really think you brought the worst one last time.
Dang.
I think Plastic Hearts was probably the hardest point of entry for me into Miley's music. For reference, I said I put 8 of the songs from Plastic Hearts on my own playlist. I put 9 songs on my own playlist from Bangers. And I put 13 out of these 14 on my playlist from Endless Summer Vacation.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Uh-huh. Who knew? Its number 63 slot puts it below Kings of Leon's Walls.
Oh, our test episode.
Yeah, but it puts it above Tapestry. I mean, we have to be healed after that, right? I think that's healing. Yeah, I just think Endless Summer Vacation beats Plastic Hearts in just about every way. I think everything I didn't like about Plastic Hearts is pretty much absent from most places on Endless Summer Vacation. As for my top 3, we have a little overlap, but not much.
Really?
I'm taking Jaded.
Yep, overlap, cool.
My Jamesable mention is Rose-Colored Lenses, which is also overlap.
Yep.
I think I would also give a Jamesable mention to Handstand, but not really.
Whoa!
Well, here's why. Like I said, it's the epitome of what Endless Summer Vacation is and what makes it different than Plastic Hearts.
Sure.
So Handstand, was like the moment I was like, okay, it clicked. Handstand's the moment the album kind of clicked. And I was like, she's not playing it safe anymore. There's a lot more ambition here that's being realized in a satisfying way, which is why she got nominated for her first 3 Grammys from this album. But anyway, I'm also giving a pick to River, which is a hot take for you.
Yeah, I guess that is a hot take.
And I'm taking Violet Chemistry in my top 3.
So say 3 out of your 5 we overlapped?
Yeah.
What do you mean we didn't really overlap?
Well, I knew River was going to be contentious, and I didn't take Flowers, and Handstand was an out there pick.
I knew you weren't taking Flowers. It's okay.
Well, you can buy yourself flowers.
I can't believe I did. I'll be honest, I kind of still hoped I'd do it. I know I said I didn't think I was going to, but that was just me guarding my own plastic heart.
Yeah.
Not letting myself get let down too hard. I was still secretly hoping it would do it. Especially because you picked this for album of the year, so I was like, that gave me a little hope way back then. Of James thought it was the best album of the year. Gotta be something for it.
Right. I actually even went onto my ranking spreadsheet and hid the score before the episode because I didn't want you finding out and spoiling the surprise.
Oh yeah, I don't go looking, but
well, just in case.
I didn't realize you even put it on there before the episode.
Well, if you needed to find info about Plastic Hearts, I didn't want you to go Control F Miley Cyrus, and there you go.
Fair enough. Wow, 63. I almost broke top 50, which is my new goal now.
Oh gosh.
Imagine if I'd broken top 50 with this.
Ambitious. What do you think about playlist picks?
I was going to ask you the same thing. I kind of want, as my pick, I feel like you should tell me yours first.
Okay. I think my pick would probably be Jaded or Violet Chemistry. I would lean towards Violet Chemistry.
Really?
I think so.
It's interesting. Just looking at the Spotify plays. Violet Chemistry, I'm honestly kind of just now for the first time looking at these, and Violet Chemistry is way less than I would have guessed.
It's underrated. I'm signal boosting it.
Well, if I had my pick of the litter.
Flowers and Flowers demo.
It'd be Flowers and Jaded, back-to-back tracks.
Ugh.
And since Jaded was in your top 3, that's why I wanted you to go first, hoping you'd pick it, and I'd just be able to take Flowers.
Right.
But if you want to take Violet Chemistry, that puts me in a pickle.
Yeah, I think I would lean Violet Chemistry.
I think I would take Jaded over Flowers. I think for the same sense of overplayedness.
Sure.
I can hear Flowers anytime I want just by walking into a store.
Well, you can hear all of them anytime you want by searching them on Spotify, but yeah.
I just mean, Flowers is going to present itself to me even when I'm not looking for it in a way that Jaded isn't.
True enough.
I'll take Jaded, and yeah, you can take Violet Chemistry. Both of those are from my top 3, so I'm good with that.
Well, they're both from my top 3, too.
Well, then there we go.
Let's see, for Plastic Hearts, we took the actual track Plastic Hearts and Angels Like You.
Yep.
We didn't mention it in the episode, but the playlist did exist at that time. What do you think about, Pair for Pair? Which one's the winner?
Pair for Pair?
Yeah.
You said it was Angels Like You and Plastic Hearts itself?
Uh-huh.
Angels Like You is rough. I love Angels Like You. That's a rough one to say loses. I think Angels Like You and Jaded are on pretty equal footing for me. in terms of how much I liked them. So what it really comes down to is, do I think Violet Chemistry or Plastic Hearts? And I think I like Violet Chemistry. Even though I'd take the Plastic Hearts album, I think out of just those two groupings of two songs, I'd take Endless Summer Vacation's playlist picks.
Okay. I mean, I would too.
Man, what a year of healing this has turned out to be.
I know. So that's everything about Endless Summer Vacation. Do you want to see how much we've healed? Do you feel healed at the end of the year of healing?
I feel so healed right now.
Well, here's some stats for the year of healing.
Okay.
So year one, your average score was a 7.3.
Okay.
Which is pretty interesting. I feel like that's not so bad.
I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Mainly because you don't bring me a lot of bad music. You know, we tend to stick to the better side of all music that exists.
I try, yeah.
And so being around a 7 is good. That means I'm not being too generous with my 9s and 8s, but I'm not being under generous either.
No, true. Well, in the year of vengeance, I think there was definitely some vengeance, and it shows. Your average score in the year of vengeance was a 7.1.
Yeah, but that's also the year that I had my first ever 10 and my first ever 1.
Well, that's it. In the first year of the podcast, you didn't give anything below a 4. And the year of vengeance saw you give a 1, 2, and a 3.
Did I give one of every number in the year of vengeance?
You did.
Wow.
Yeah, those remain your only 2s and 3s. And 10s. You've only given 2, 3, and 10s in the year of vengeance, and half your 1s were there. In the year of healing, your average score was a 7.5. So that's the highest it's ever been. And it's a whole 0.4 of a point higher than last year.
That means my overall average is also a 7.3, right? If you were to do like a year-to-date average?
Yeah, I suppose so. It's also interesting to note that in year one, you gave 13 9s. Year two, you also gave 13 9s. But in year three, in the year of healing, you gave 18 9s.
Wow.
43% of all of your 9s came in the year of healing.
Okay.
That feels pretty healed to me. You also gave 30% of all your 8s and 36% of all your 7s in the year of healing.
Wow. Mm-hmm. These are some interesting stats.
I just thought it was interesting that we've been joking and calling them the year of vengeance and the year of healing, but really the numbers have reflected that.
They have reflected that. How much of that do you think is biased from us joking and calling it that?
Well, some of it is.
I don't know.
It depends. But for the most part, I think it's been pretty genuine. So that brings us pretty much to the end of year three, which is remarkable.
Which is crazy. We've been going for 3 whole years. Thanks for everybody that listens.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We've grown a lot. We were looking at some stats just of the podcast.
Well, I've got those stats here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Including Endless Summer Vacation, including this episode, we've ranked 148 albums spanning 1923-ish to 2023. We've done 9 singles episodes. We've put 298 songs on our favorite songs playlist. And over all platforms, we've got more than 34,000 streams. So thank you so much.
That's a lot.
I mean, that means the world. We just do this and have so much fun. And it makes me very happy that people are here and enjoy it. So thank you for 3 awesome years.
I'll be honest. Now I'm more invigorated than ever to go into year 4.
Invigorated?
I don't know. Is that...
Invigorated?
Sure. Listen, I already said in this episode, that I'm not good with words.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm stoked for year 4. And you know what? This was the year of healing. I think now that we're healed, I have a cool new direction that we could take year 4.
Yeah, I was just about to ask, what the heck are we going to do for year 4? I kind of named year 2 because I wanted vengeance on you, and then it made sense to go into a year of healing.
Because we definitely needed it, clearly.
So yeah, now where do we go from here?
Well, I think now that we're all healed up and we're in a good place.
Where do I go from here?
It's the year of Barry Manilow. Year of the Menace.
It's the year of the Hoons.
I think that since we're all healed up, we have a little more leeway to get experimental.
Ooh, year of experimentation?
That's a little clunky. I think year 4 should be the year of discovery.
Oh, that's good. Year of discovery.
Mm-hmm. And I think I can bring you albums that maybe push outside your comfort zone a little more. I mean, you talked about recently how I brought albums that were easy guesses for you, like right up the Connor alley, and I needed to branch out a little more. This will be a chance to branch out, and you can pick things that you've discovered. I mean, Miley Cyrus was a discovery pick for you.
Yeah.
You found her because of the podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
It also gives you the opportunity to bring more things like Dr. Demento, you know.
Dr. Demento was pretty discovery-like.
Or Ray Stevens was pretty discovery. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just opens the door store for more of that.
Time to get weird with my picks.
Uh-oh. So stay tuned for the year of discovery.
I no longer have to try to bring stuff to get to your top 100. That weight is lifted.
That's done.
Now I can get weird with it.
You've accomplished a 2-year-long mission.
3-year-long mission, really. I've been going since episode 20 when I brought my first one.
That's true.
So, since almost the very beginning, I've been trying to accomplish this.
So yeah, stick around for year 4, the year of discovery. We'll be back next week, and it'll be like nothing has changed, but in a certain sense, everything has changed.
Every year, we level up the podcast in terms of what we do. I mean, I'm interested to see what else. Over the years, we've launched a store, we've created all this subcon, we've got a website. I mean, there's tons of stuff that we just continue to ramp up our efforts. So I'm interested to see what crazy ideas we all come up with for year 4.
No doubt. It'll be wild.
And until year 4, where can they get caught up on the past 3 years of shenanigans?
Yeah. Oh, if you want to catch up with what we've been doing or stay caught up with what we are doing, you can find us on social media at SpinItPodOfficial on Instagram and at SpinItPod on X and Twitch. You can find us on the web, our one and only website, www.spinitpod.com.
It's a cool website. Check it out.
It is. And keep an eye out for new merch. We've had some stuff lined up, then I think year 4 might be the perfect time to do a new merch drop.
I'm excited for some Year of Discovery merch. Some of my favorite merch is the Year of Healing and Year of Vengeance merch that the art department put together.
We'll have to discover together. Tell a friend who used to be young about Spin It.
Tell a friend who has Ayy-ja Vu. And then tell them again.
Because they might forget. Because they'll be very surprised by it. They'll feel like they've heard you say it before. Tune in for year 4 to hear Connor say more silly things like this.
I need an artist who is really good at sliced potatoes and lips. And this guy went, finally, my time has come.
What does that even mean?
Means I'm excited for year 4.
I bet you are. We'll see you next week. And, as always,
keep spinning! Hey, I just realized that means my unit for this episode is healed plastic hearts, not broken plastic hearts.
That's right. We could put that behind us and put it to bed, right? We're good?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm free.
I'm free. We're all free.
What a burden has been lifted. What an excellent way to end the Miley Cyrus arc on the podcast so far.
The Miley Cyrus era. I mean,
I can't tell you how many times she's come up over the last 136 episodes.
I mean, the number of times that it's even just been cut. Like, that the audience didn't even have to hear it.
Oh, boy. Can I tell you a secret, too? I was going to surprise you with this as the last episode of the year if you didn't pick it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, I mean, how can we not do it? Almost won album of the year. Should have won album of the year.
I'll be honest, I think she was robbed.
She was robbed. Year of Discovery. Year of Discovery.